Hello and welcome to Unity Evolved. I'm your host, as you always, Ken, the Phoenix of Liberty Ottinger. And with me is my great and wonderful compatriot, my compadre, my financial benefit, Hef from Hefland.com. How you doing
Hi,
tonight, Hef?
everybody. Hey, good, good. How are you, Liberty?
I'm
Liberty.
pumped, man. I'm pumped. I'm feeling okay. It's uh,
Yeah.
it's been a rough and tumble week. A lot of things have gone down, but it's all good. We take it in stride, right?
Yeah, do. It's fine. Yeah, it's been an interesting week. I'm sure for you too.
Yeah, I had that wedding. It was a wedding. Yeah, it was a wedding of my ex and the mother of my children. And I think
Mhm.
I handled it pretty darn well. I was able to go to the wedding itself. I went to the reception for a little while.
Mhm.
Uh, and it did a lot of good for me. It really made me realize, that I think I was always the other guy in that situation, because the gentleman
Mhm.
she's with now, that she's her husband, um, he and I have been, if you want to say it, competing for years
Mhm.
for her affections. And I don't think I ever really noticed it, that I was always the other guy. I was never that number one. I always had this idea, this concept that we were soulmates, and I think I was more in love with an idea than with actually her. But I digress. I digress. It was a great wedding. It was really beautiful. Um,
Mhm.
I think they did a really good job. And her husband, he gave the girls his little necklaces with rings on them, and
Mhm.
had his a very good speech, very heartfelt and touching speech. And I think it did exactly what I set out to do when I wanted to go to it, which was to find closure, and I think I'm
Mhm.
better off for it.
Yeah, well, that's good. That's good to hear. Um, we eventually have to move on.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, as
I
as we
don't
had in the article from the other week, one of the main things you got to let go. Carefree individuals, what don't they have? They do not have the issues with exes. They let go. You know, they let go of the past. They let go of their regrets.
Mhm. Living in the now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So how about yourself, man? How's your week been?
It's been standard. We're preparing. I prepared a little box full of a box of activities for Porkfest. But didn't we were working on that? I think I mentioned it to you either in the last show or somewhere during the week. We have a couple of brought dominoes just in case. Do you like dominoes?
I do. I do. It's a good game.
Okay.
I mean, if I was
Yeah.
80.
Yeah, I
No, but
get
seriously,
that.
yeah, I like it. I think I've historically been pretty terrible at dominoes. My brother tends to whoop my ass all the time, so it kind of, when you lose constantly, it's kind of something that you don't really tend to do often.
Hmm. Well,
But
yeah. Well, among other things, also racquetball.
I don't
Racket.
think there's a court at
I
Rogers.
no, but that is actually just fun to throw, and maybe we can invent the game.
It's called handball.
Racquetball from long distance.
We could call it voluntary ball. See how many trees you can bounce it off before it hits the ground. How many statists you can bounce it off before it hits the ground. Haha, no, that's kind of I think that would be probably assault. You know,
Hmm.
but
I'm also bringing.
what else you got
Uh,
in the box?
we got a Spencer's Gifts electronic game. That the surprise is if you lose at this game, you'll get shocked. Your on your hand. You get a little electric shock, which it jolts you pretty good, man.
Now, is that like
Sort of
a
painful.
vibration or is it an actual shock?
No, it's actual shock.
What a sadistic
The
little game.
the handle is made of plastic, but it kind of has holes around it. Like it has a line of like two pieces separating each other, and there's a little gap between. And somehow electricity, I really don't know how it works. They should do a
Hmm.
show how that works.
That's a damn good idea. You bring in some Chopra.
Yeah.
I was thinking if you wanted to, we could finish off the this list that we have from last week, the 22 unnecessary attachments. Although I think we were somewhere around 10, and I think we should probably cherry pick it because I think we got some better information that we can get to later on. And I don't want to
hmm
spend too much time on this. You think you're interested in finishing this out?
Sure. I'm looking through my history to try to get that
Well,
that
I'm
link again.
going
Can you
to
send it to me?
link it to you. You
Send it
gotta
to
love the wonders
the
of the
FB.
internet age, the interconnectivity that we have, the ability that we have to transfer thoughts and ideas is just amazing. I mean, look at this, bam, sis, right there. And now you have it. And now you can look at it, we can all speak about it. 15 years ago, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe not 5 years ago. When I was a kid, when I was 15, couldn't do that stuff. Although that was probably right about the time when the internet was really getting good. But I digress. So the 22 unnecessary attachments that carefree people don't have. I think we left off on regrets, and that's kind of apropos for the week that we've all had, you know. And if you were interested,
Uh-huh.
by the way, you can find this article at spiritscienceandmetaphysics.com/22 dash unnecessary attachments carefree people don't have. So to continue, regrets.
Regrets.
There is nothing you can do now. So wasting your time and energy lamenting over everything that you've done wrong in life is only going to give you more regrets. And why is that? Why do you think they say that?
Well, you're just focusing your time and energy on remembering that, and it's always in the back of your head. You're wasting time just thinking about that. Your time is better spent thinking on something you want to invent for the future or something to take care of now.
Something
Not,
that something that can produce value.
yeah, but it's easy to get caught up in that, regrets, because, you know.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I've got tons of regrets in my life, but
The best thing to
you have
do is.
the first step in getting rid of them is to realize what you have to do to get rid of them, right? I mean, it's all a process.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm nearly where I need to be with it, but
Yeah.
the regrets will just create more regrets because then you're just thinking about the stuff in the past and not moving forward and creating. So I don't know. You want to get the next one?
Sure. Nostalgia. We all wish we could go back to the carefree days of our youth, but unless you invent time travel, you're stuck under the stressful burden of being an adult. Dreaming of the good days behind you is as fruitless as daydreaming of better days in front of you. Hmm. So,
Yeah, that makes sense. I think. You know, it's kind of funny though. One of my favorite web stars is the Nostalgia Critic. You know, he's this guy. He reviews all these old movies from when we were kids and stuff, and
uh-huh.
he just gets so angry and violent with it. And his little shtick is that he just blasts the cartridges and the movies and the VHSs to high hell. And if we have to get rid of it, I mean, is this something that we just never think of again? Do you just like, yeah, Turtles, it was awesome, but whatever. I mean, isn't nostalgia somewhere that is creating a bunch of you know
hmm
you what the fuck am I trying to say? See, and I haven't even smoked weed yet. Thanks, Hef. I got your brain farts. The nostalgia creates, it's an outlet to make a lot of money right now. It's very profitable, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it is. That's why you see a lot of video games out there just they're rehashing old stuff. Mario will never die, and the Mario parties and the Mario Karts, but that's just one character. Imagine
Well,
all
Mario
of
can't
the
die.
stuff
He eats
that's
his
coming out.
shrooms.
Well, yeah, but yeah, he dies unless he probably has a personal staircase in his backyard with a turtle, just like hanging around the staircase, and he's just getting free lives. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
You know, I miss having W Blue Sky lives. That was the best number of lives to have in the world.
Yeah. Oh,
You know, we gotta
Skylines.
give this stuff up. We gotta. I mean, how does
That's,
we all
I
wish we could get
relive the
back to it? But if
nostalgia.
you're stuck under the stressful burden of being adult, dreaming of the good old days is behind. Dreaming of the good old days behind you is as fruitless of daydreaming of better days in front of you. So I mean, he's basically just saying, live now, think now, and act. I guess would be what he's trying to get across, I suppose, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. So yeah,
So the next one we're going to touch on is going to be mass approval.
actually, you skipped one.
I
It's
know. I told you
parents'
we was
money.
cherry picking.
Oh, we were chipper. Okay, okay.
And nobody wants to hear about parents' money. Of course, we don't need our parents' money.
Oh,
So mass
yeah,
approval. It's
yeah.
one thing
Okay.
to ignore one person's opinion of you, but society is another thing entirely. The crowd is like a black hole that'll try to suck you in, and those who resist are those who stay alive. I think that speaks to the very heart of libertarianism and what we're trying to do, creating a voluntary and free society without coercive government influences and centralization. You know, it's all about the individual. Uh, like the name says, unity evolved. We can only become one. We can only unify ourselves if we evolve away from collectivization. You know, the decentralized form is the best way to unite humanity because it removes coercion and it it makes it so much easier for people to interact without violence and without fraud and force.
Mhm.
So the mass approval, yeah, terrible, terrible. What do you
Yeah.
think? I'm kind of
I
just
know.
running you over.
Don't
You
really.
gotta talk, buddy. You gotta talk
Yeah,
over
that's
me.
true.
Get it up there. Get it up there.
Okay, so no, I don't really have much else to add to that. It's
Well, then tell me to
also
shut up and move on.
yeah, let's move on. Let's move on to another one. Like self-doubt. Hmm. That one probably applies in many situations.
Yeah, without a
What do you
doubt.
think? Without
Yeah,
doubt.
yeah. Let's. I
Self-doubt.
like that one. Let's go ahead and let's hit that one.
Okay. So if you don't have confidence in yourself, what can you have confidence in? There's no room for self-doubt in a world that's going to judge your every decision. Lighten your load and start trusting yourself. Yeah, that's a very, very true, very powerful, especially for me. It's a lot of things that I self-doubt and holds you back from talking about something or jumping into a task even, you know. Although I'm more confident in doing tasks than actually speaking to others. So
Right.
it's kind of a mm,
Why
yeah.
do you think
So
that
I'm
is?
getting over that. I don't know. It's that I think it's good. We can go back to that mass approval. It's what thinking that people are just gonna
You still care? You
not like you
you still
or
care what
things
people
like
think?
that. Well, yeah, it's still it still happens to me. I mean, I still think that way, but I'm trying to shed that, and I'm taking the necessary steps to do that. I'm putting myself out there,
I know you're
which is the
I know you're
first
a
thing.
skeptic to the majority of the the new age philosophies and so forth. It's nice
Yeah,
to see you
I
being
wouldn't get in. Oh yeah. Say again.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that last part? It
I
sounded cool, but I interrupted you.
I said it's nice to see you you're getting into it. I like it. It's good stuff. Being a
Okay.
skeptic and being open and allowing yourself to even think about it, it's awesome. I really like that stuff.
Cool. Thank you. It's like other things where a lot of libertarians know about these Murray Rothbards and Ayn Rands and the like,
This,
et cetera, et cetera. I haven't really read into any of that stuff. I tried to read Ayn Rand, listen to the audiobook of Ayn Rand. What's that one? A very popular one.
which one?
Atlas Shrugged.
Atlas Shrugged?
Atlas Shrugged.
No. The movie was enjoyable. The movie was the only actual experience of Atlas Shrugged I've ever had, and back when I first saw that movie, I was a baby in the entire idea of, owning myself and waking up, and I wasn't sure whether Ayn Rand was a good guy or a bad guy. I didn't know whether it was a guy or a chick.
I always knew Iron Man was a good guy.
You knew Iron Man was a good guy?
All the time, man. Come on.
Iron Man's not that good of a guy. He's a philanthropist and a philanderer, and he breaks stuff all the time. Did you see the fight that he had with the Incredible Hulk?
He wants to save the world, though.
The means don't justify the end.
Well, you know what? The intentions are there. And that's all that matters.
Everybody, this is Nate from Legacy Radio. How you doing, Nate? It's nice to have you on here.
I'm
Welcome.
doing good. Yeah.
You've got to be one of the most high-profile people we've had on so far.
Oh, wow.
You should-
I feel honored.
You should, because this is going to be the greatest radio show that's ever been created.
All
Yeah.
right.
Hey Nate, nice to meet you.
Same him. Now I don't see a cam on you, or is it that just you holding a cam with your arm extended that whole entire time?
Now that's his nice little. That's his
His
picture. He doesn't like his camera. He's afraid of it.
Well, my
Oh, there he is.
It's uncomfortable. I need to have a base for it, and so it's kind of. I don't even have a nice rubbery stay on surface cover for it, so it just slips everywhere, and I didn't have the time. I was like trying to get the show started.
Yeah, because you were listening to Free Talk Live. Same as
Yeah, and I like.
totally spaced out.
Were you listening to it too?
Yeah, admittedly, yeah. I was in the chat room till about 7:30.
Admittedly, it's not a bad thing to.
So,
admit.
hey, you want to help us go through these esoteric ideas?
Is it?
I think we
Hold
might have
on.
lost Nate.
No, you didn't. Sorry about that.
Oh, you're just like, no, I'm not going to talk. I'm not going to tell you if I want to do it.
No, I'm just trying to fix things as I go along. So if you see my video going in and out, don't worry about it.
Sweet.
Same here.
This guy right here, this friggin' guy, this freaking Jersey boy, this guy right here fixed my computer like nothing. It was like butter. This guy, he helped me out. It was amazing from him. I totally got to throw him some Bitcoin. I think I might just throw you some Bitcoin, man.
That'd be kind of nice of you. I appreciate that. But
And now the audio's going out.
my audio's going out. No.
Mine is mine going out? I'm pretty good.
I think it's just my connection, probably. You guys sound good now.
Okay.
all right. But
I know I'm recording on my end. Starting now.
You didn't have your Audacity running. Wow. Very nice. Very nice. It's okay. Neither is mine.
The first few minutes. Oh boy, it's a work in progress.
At least I didn't. Hey, at least I didn't wait till 8:20 to turn on the Google Hangouts this week. I did that last week. We were talking on here for 20 minutes, didn't realize we weren't broadcasting anything.
the title of your show reminds me of a Spice Girls song.
Yeah.
When two become one. You ever hear that song?
Yes, I think I
yeah.
have.
I need some
When
love
two-
like you never need love before. I wanna make love to you, can.
See, now, if this was your show, you might get that. Although I'm undecided on a sexuality, so you never know. I might just have to take you up on it, buddy.
Sounds good. Shoot me a Snapchat.
Sorry, I don't Snapchat. That's the one form of media contact I won't touch. It's like the dirty hampers, you know.
It's really bad, just like the fluoride in the water.
I'm hating on my fluoride. Fluoride's delicious. You need more fluoride in your life.
Let me ask.
Fuck a pineal gland. Who needs to think?
I don't mean to, I don't want to derail your show, so you can stop me whenever.
Trust me, I will.
All right. But no, like, you talk about the fluoride, but I'm sure when you eat, you're probably eating, like, meat that's injected with hormones, or eating all the stuff that, you know what I mean? So the least of your worries is probably the fluoride with all the stuff that you intake.
Yeah, but anybody with, a modicum of dedication to living free is going to want to know as much as they can about everything. I mean, hell, the more information the better until you get, the only issue is you have to be able to differentiate between the misinformation and the disinformation and the good information. That's the hard part. Personally, I don't like to judge any of it. I'll take all of it in and process it and filter it out, just like my big Berkey water filter, which I don't own. Because those fucking things are like $400, maybe like $200. I don't know.
I have a Brita. It's like $35. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I have one of those pure things that mount to the faucet. Pretty good.
How does that work? Do you like that?
Well, actually, it's broken down 3 times.
Oh.
But the 3 times that I called Pure on customer service, they've replaced them.
I feel like it's like all they do is take a little like tube and put it on the faucet, and you think you're purifying your water when you're really not. You're still drinking tap water.
No, it actually, I always test the difference.
I was really into like the whole I was really into the whole like prepper and militia movements, a couple years back before I woke up a little bit more, the level of progression, if you will. And for Christmas, I was like, I don't want to celebrate Christmas. It's a dumbass thing. But if you want to get me anything, get me a water filter, like a portable water filter, and some MREs. I asked for prepper stuff.
MREs, I remember those. I used to be in JROTC, and I'll tell you
Which kind of JROTC? Naval, Marine Corps, Army?
Army.
And that makes 3 of us, huh?
And
'Cause I was in the Air Force, junior ROTC.
These were kind of
And I was a Navy boy.
You ever have those ham MREs, and one that has like the ham in it?
Dude, I've lived off of MREs for weeks at a time.
So good. It's so good.
No, they're not.
Oh my God, they are. What is wrong with you? They're delicious.
Well, if you heat them up and you know how to make them, you can make them edible and acceptable and livable. But good, I would never know. The fortification process they do to it to add all these extra bullshit calories makes it so cardboardy.
I don't know. I mean, it's no different than having like a cafeteria lunch at school. I mean, I remember having those steak and cheeses that nobody wanted to eat. Oh, they were so delicious.
Oh, the best, I gotta say, the best, my all-time favorite MRE has got to be the penne pasta. It's freaking delicious, man. You put the hot sauce packet in there, a dash of the red pepper, and it's freaking amazing. You squeeze some jalapeno cheese spread in there and mix it all together. It's magnifique.
You're telling me they have penne pasta?
Yeah, they have a lot of new ones, probably since you were in ROTC. They've got one that's it looks like vomit if you spill it, but it's really, really good, and the name of it completely escapes me. And I'm not even high right now. That's sad.
It's made by the Macaroni Grill.
I don't think the Macaroni Grill did it, but
I'm sure it did.
You're right. You did derail me, and we're gonna get right back into it. So one of the other unnecessary attachments that carefree people don't have and don't deal with is guilt. Now, I don't know how easily it'll be for me to become a fully and detached individual without cares, because guilt for me, that's my fucking Saturday night poison. I'm extremely self-destructive, and I hold on to my guilt like a nun holds on to her crucifix.
So you are depressed, is what you're saying.
That'd be saying it lightly. Yeah, yeah.
Well, don't be depressed. Be happy.
It is that easy. I have to fully admit it. It is that easy to make that choice and just no, I'm not depressed. I'm not upset. But I don't, and I think I know the reason why.
And what's that?
Because I think for some reason there was a synapse created in my childhood between guilt and problem solving.
Okay. Well, all right. So explain.
Yeah.
Well, I can't think of the incident specifically, but that's the only thing that would make sense to me as to why I would hold on to my guilt so fervently. And but I mean, I did time in a nut house when I was like 12 or something, and I felt really guilty about that. So, but it never really solved anything. I mean, well, that's not true because it did help me get rid of my lisp, which I've been extremely proud of. It's like one of the biggest accomplishments of my life. I don't talk like Joshua jumped over the mushrooms. I don't have that lisp anymore. It's so nice to be able to enunciate and articulate and sound intelligent at the very least. Holy crap! But I think that's where that connection might have made. I don't know. That was just something I pulled out of my ass.
I don't know.
But it just makes sense to me.
The thing is if you sit there and worry yourself about everything that's going on in the world, you are just going to turn into an insane man. And I think that's the thing as people, like we just kind of like our minds kind of get us to focus on the things that we have going on in front of us, around us, that has to be kind of keeping our attention. So I mean, I get that. I get what you mean by guilt in some way. I don't think people. I mean, I think if somebody saw somebody else, I mean, I know me at least. If I saw somebody else dying and asking for help, and I don't ask, and I don't help them, and they're in front of me, yeah, I'd probably feel guilty. But I mean, you see these commercials every 2 minutes for like the little Ethiopian kids with the flies running in and out of their eyeballs. If you don't donate, they're gonna die. Or they have the new mailers where it says like, just throw me away. Everybody else has, or something stupid like that, and has a picture of a little Ethi. And
they have mail inserts now.
Yeah, and the mail.
Sally Struthers uses the snail mail.
Yeah. And
how do you play Arms of an Angel over the mail? Do they have like one that's like gonna open the card and it starts playing "In the Arms of the Angels" by a dog? I mean, that would be a pretty damn good mailer.
Yeah, it's kind of like those Hallmark cards. You open them up and it plays Star Wars music.
Exactly. I love that one.
Yeah.
The Yoda one was awesome.
But the thing is like, those type of things, I don't feel guilty about that, and I don't feel bad about it, and I understand there's people out there that are struggling way worse than I could ever, and I understand that, and I am I feel very fortunate for what I have, and I do know that my friends and family, I'd always help. I always help out. It's hard to turn around and just be like, oh yeah, all this stuff is going on and all this stuff. It seems way too much bigger than it makes you go crazy. It'd make you nuts.
Hence me.
Yeah, and that's why you can become an angry man about that type of stuff. Especially on Saturday night, man. Shouldn't you be like, I don't know, going out to a bar or hanging out,
Tonight?
Diddling your daddle? No, on a Saturday night.
Oh hell no! On a Saturday night, I should be in the house off the air live, and then I need to go to sleep because I gotta work Sunday morning.
That's funny. That's right. You do call it on Off the Air Live. I haven't called in
like a month or so. I got to be honest, because Cody allowing me to sit on his show and just blather on and not being like, dude, get off. that's been like the whole. That's been one of the main sources of inspiration for me to create Unity Evolved. You know, him allowing me to sit on his show and just talk, and I think it stems from us resonating with one another. You know, like I feel like he's my buddy, and I've never even met him, and he feels like, you know, like I feel like I have a connection, and maybe that's just the depression and the loneliness, but
oh, I mean, Cody's a nice guy, though.
Say again?
Cody's a nice guy, though, so I mean, I get that, you know what I mean?
But, you know, him allowing me to do that has really been what's inspired me mostly to just get out here and just talk to the world and finally actually start getting the ball moving and start, you know, taking out my scraper and scrape off a little bit of the moss, help it grease up the wheels a bit, you know?
Well, you guys bonded over talking about mushrooms for like 3 hours, so.
I think we bonded more of the spirit science and the metaphysical ideas and knowing your chakras and so forth.
Oh my word!
Over just this simple, you know, here's a pharmaceutical pill, you know, here's a chemical solution, which I would love to get some DMT in me.
If you just need to fix a computer, just let me know and I'll help you out. But other than that, I'm not into talking about that stuff.
Yeah, I don't know enough about that chakra. I haven't looked it up enough to know. So I'm going by what Liberty says. Chakras.
I don't think it's any surprise to anyone that, kind of like Cody's bedroom, my bedroom is blue. The color blue vibrates on a frequency that is said to help charge your fifth chakra.
What about yellow?
Your vocal chakra. So being around things that are blue helps to allow you to speak more. And I never even thought about making my own podcast, my own show at all, until I moved over here to my sister's house, and I had a blue room, and it's like, holy crap! Wow, what a coincidence! That's kind of freaky.
So you think because you had a blue room, that's why you wanted to start a podcast?
No, but I think being aware of it allows it to resonate stronger.
I have a question. What does yellow do then?
I believe that's your sacral, your nutsack.
Oh, that's why I'm banging so much.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You didn't catch that raccoon, did you?
No, not at all. No.
Oh, I was gonna say, man, because that's not okay. You will get shunned for that.
Who's gonna shun me?
If you rape a raccoon.
Oh, you mean like rape a rat? What?
You're yellow, baby. Yeah, yellow. Sacral.
Oh, Cody's listening right now. That's great. Yeah.
All right, so guilt. We did what? 15 minutes on it. Let's move along. Hef, you wanna hit the next one?
Let's do the prejudices. Why not? Whether you were raised with them or grew around them, take a serious look at what you're judging and decide if it's worth the stigma.
What?
Yeah, any thoughts?
I don't even know what you said. You just mumbled that.
Well, before we get to enunciations and articulation, I'd like to point out something that I was wrong about. Your second chakra is your solar plexus. That's the yellow one.
My solar panel.
Solar plex.
Oh, plexus.
You know, I'm gonna have to come out there. I'm gonna have to come out to Jersey. And show you one for.
I'm not in Jersey, by the way. I'm in Rhode Island, but you can go to Jersey if you want.
I did not know that Cody had a blue calcite for his throat chakra. That's gorgeous. I've got a pink one.
This sounds like pseudoscience to me.
Well, that's just because you haven't done any research. And I am a piss-poor interpreter of the actual, knowledge of it. You know, I'm dabbling so far. You know, I'm still learning myself. You know, so it's difficult to transmit information when you don't have a full grasp of it. But you know, that's the whole point of discussion and talking, right?
Yeah.
So prejudices. You want to throw another shout out at that?
Yeah, let me get
With
that
your man
down.
voice this time.
Whether you were raised with them or grew around them, take a serious look at what you're judging and decide if it's worth the stigma.
So
That
I
is
guess they're
prejudice.
insinuating that there's a stigma behind being judgmental and having prejudices, right? That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, when you're judging someone, you're that's your prejudice
Well,
towards what you're holding that person against. And
well, prejudices, I think, they are rather prevalent because, I mean, just admittedly, I'm prejudiced as hell. When I'm walking around town or when I'm driving, if I see somebody and they do something that just irks me the wrong way, I'm like, fucking statist, and that's prejudicial as a motherfucker.
Wow. I don't know. I'm not.
Well, you're not. You're still a statist too, buddy.
Hey, you're being prejudiced against me. I don't like this.
Well, you're not. You've said before that you don't believe that you own yourself. So
I said I don't believe I own myself. Is that what I
I
said?
think there was something like that, something to that effect. At least I can interpret it and bullshit my way into it about that. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, I can make it sound that way.
I think you're judging me. No, I don't know, man. I think I own myself. I mean, I make my own decisions. I mean, I could decide to quit my job and go live in the dirt, and who's gonna stop me? Not really anybody.
Well, whether you're a statist or not, whether we know it or not, we still own ourselves. I mean, just because the government has a claim on our property and our life and our time and apparently a lot of other things doesn't really make it not true, not an objective fact that we own ourselves. So I mean, anybody can say that anybody can make us do anything. That's not going to make us not own ourselves. But yeah, judging people because they're not anarchists or voluntarists or libertarians or whatever, that's something that I still struggle with. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm struggling with a lot of these things on this freaking list, and I'm not liking that. No wonder why I'm so fucking depressed.
Now, darn. Am I prejudiced if I call status zombies? Is that being a prejudice? Having prejudice?
Yep.
Well, that's offensive.
It's offensive. It sure is, and I use it a lot. I hate that. I'm gonna stop using it.
I don't know
Because
what.
that's probably what shuns people away.
I guess what's your definition of a statist? I don't know.
Someone that believes that there should be any level of central government or governmental authority above themselves. Anyone who does not believe that the best form of government is individual and self-government, I guess, is my definition of it.
So when you call somebody a statist, is that you being negative? Are you sending out negative vibes when you call somebody that?
I am, yeah. It's like me going, fucker, you dick, you asshole. It's one of those little like, I'm gonna jab it right in your ribs and just like.
I have a question. Do you want more people to join your cause?
Absolutely, which is why I've already said that I am a piss poor interpreter.
I was just gonna say that.
I want to work on it.
When you like are aggressive in that manner, I think people are just gonna be more defensive and be like, yeah, you can go fucking blow a cow. Like, no.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Which is why I think the main reason that I have had such shitty success with, evangelizing and preaching to all of my friends and family. Yeah, I don't really transmit the message well. I don't think I have the knowledge to back up what my heart says is true.
I don't think it's the knowledge. I think it's that you're so passionate about it that you tend to get way too amped up. I bet you're one. And I don't know you fully, but from what I've talked to you and stuff like that, and I've watched some of your videos. I feel like you're one of those guys where when somebody's not understanding the point you're trying to get across, you can get angry. And you get angry to the point where it almost can become intimidating to people, which then will make them standoffish. And
I've never thought of myself as intimidating, but that's interesting.
and because of that, people are like, well, shit, this guy is like coming at me like, whoa, like, and you might not be feeling like wanting to be like that. Like you get something that gets you mad. Like I think I remember,
Like I could be saying, hey man, the government's out there, they're just stealing from you, and you need to stop supporting the state and stop giving them your consent. And they could be interpreting it as me saying, you fucking statist, stop doing it. Why are you gonna be a fucking twat? I mean, that's how they could be interpreted.
But and sometimes I feel like, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like you could be saying things very, very logically, and then you go from one point to the other where you start screaming that, and that's when people are like, "Whoa!"
So how do you think an individual can better develop their sense of communication for that? I mean, our very first pilot episode was on communication.
I would say by communicating and getting reactions and seeing what those reactions are and trying different ways of communication to those people or different people and seeing what results you are getting out of it. I mean, it's kind of trial by error, trial by fire, excuse me. And like, even with like jobs that I've done in the past, it's like sales, I say this to somebody, oh, they don't like that. They're very shut off by it. But I say this and people are more receptive of it. And it's all the delivery. And how it's delivery and the message of the delivery, and you got it's like anything else in the world. I can relate it to fixing things. If this doesn't work, try this. If that doesn't work, try this. That's all it is. But you can't get discouraged and you can't get upset, because when you do, all it's going to do is project negativity. And whenever there's negativity, it's a big cancer, and it will just grow and grow and grow, and it's never going to get any better.
I can definitely agree with that last statement. That's for damn sure. If you want to grab a next issue. Oh,
quickly, I'm wondering what our lag is. One.
Wait, what?
Our
you
lag.
Trying to do an audio check, a mic check in the middle of the show? I love you, Hef.
Thank you. It's great.
See what I did there? I didn't call him a statist. I sent out positive vibes.
Yeah, the thing is, when you're talking, I immediately follow what you're saying. Afterwards, I say something else, but then I get cut off.
Oh,
and you guys speak again.
That's just because we're talking over you.
Like, oh, maybe that could be it. Maybe I'm like the little silent guy in the on the corner over here.
Also, I know you're recording the video too, so you might want to maybe that could be why too. It could be like your latency on that.
So this.
That would make sense.
Well, I'm not recording any video from my end. So, but I am receiving, your guys' video. So, what if I not see your videos? Would that help? Turn your cameras off somehow?
You lost your mind. I refuse to, deny my viewing public this amazing, just, it's something that not everybody gets to see, and I can't deny that to them. And he's humble too, folks.
Great. Yes, he's humble. So I don't know. You want
to grab the next topic there, Hef?
Can I tell you the honest truth? Let's have a little bit of honesty in this conversation. Make something interesting. This list is not doing anything for me anymore. It has these it's obvious stuff that
I think I'm gonna add somebody to the call.
Say again?
Hold on one second. I'm cross-platforming as we speak.
Okay.
I'm talking to Nathan on Skype, and I think he's trying to call in to show. And Nathan, there with me.
Oof.
He's lagging out. It's his connection.
No, you are not. We are on Google Hangouts, and I don't think I have the ability to transfer that yet because I don't have a mixer. Can you guys hear him?
Tell Nathan to call into me, and I'll get him in.
Nate, call into legacyradio.net.
Yeah, I'm loading up Skype right now. He can jump on. Just give me 1 second. It's loading up. All right, it's ready. Just tell him to call in.
All right, he just jumped off, so he should be calling into you any moment now. I think that's freaking awesome.
Hey, is this Nathan from
That makes me
Yes,
feel
it is.
great.
Talk Live?
I just had to call it. You know, you're the guest. You're the guest host. I can't believe we just had to call it.
I think so.
There you go.
Does that somehow
Yeah, I
put
can
me
hear
on
him
the show
too.
with everyone else?
Hey, I could. Yeah, I could too. Hi, Nathan.
Yeah, go ahead. Man.
Hi. Did you have to change anything for that to work, Nate?
Nope, I got a mixer.
Oh, so your call
He's
and
cool.
the other call.
I know.
He's
I'm
what
doing.
is referred to in the profession as a professional in the biz.
That's cool. I wish I knew how mixers and stuff worked, but I'm more of a software kind of guy.
I like to be called amateur POV.
What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Well, I wanted to ask about your point you were just making. Because I watched a video of the chalking that's going on in Free Keene. I don't know if you heard about that.
Certainly.
But
Yep.
basically, I guess it wasn't chalking, but it was one of the chalking activists, Garrett Ian. He was doing the Robin Hooding. He was not chalking. He was Robin Hooding. So he was walking around filling up parking meters. And
Right.
there was an angry guy on a bicycle following him in a pink shirt. I think the video was on Free Keene. And I thought it was interesting that you could kind of see that Garrett Ian wasn't... I mean, he was trying to communicate with him, but I don't think he really thought that it would do anything. Like, the guy was just making angry comments like, hey, you got a job, kid. And he kept kind of making these angry comments, and Garrett Ian kept saying, is there something wrong with being on welfare? Are you angry for some reason? And it kind of felt like he wasn't really trying to communicate because the other guy didn't want to communicate. You see what I mean? So if the other person's not really interested in communicating, you can kind of stop communicating too, but you can still be positive for the benefit of others who are watching.
Well, Garrett Ian, he is one of the more prevalent activists right now in Free Keene and in the Shire Society, and I've wanted to get him on the show mainly because I want to know how he does it. But I saw the video the other night where a resident that had been saved by the Keene Robin Hood came over to the Keene Activist Center, the CAC, and was like, I want to talk to him. And then Garrett was, he stayed on the other side of the street. He didn't want to engage whatsoever, and that's his choice. That's his choice. But I just think he could have taken it a more proactive way. I think he's got some insecurity when it comes to actual communication to a violent or to an aggressive individual maybe. And I'd love to get him on the show to pick his brain about that.
The other guy wasn't really he was asking a question, but it was obvious he kind of really didn't care what the answer was. So I think I think when confronted with that, he decided to just kind of, be polite and be nice for the benefit of people who are looking on, and say, because that's part of the activism, is to get the other side to kind of, make themselves look like jerks and use violence. So I think that was a part of it. But
is that not coercion?
Right, but he was kind of getting angry.
That is a blatant violation of the NAP.
Shouting at him.
Trying to get the other person to make themselves look like a fool and prove themselves to be the status that they are is coercion. Damn, I just admitted my own violation of the NAP. Because under my own definition of it right now, the fact that I'm not going to pay my taxes, I'm not registering my vehicle, and I'm not going back to my service in the Marine Corps, I'm trying to elicit a response from them. Well, actually, no. Maybe not, no. No, because in regards to the federal government, I'm simply trying to live free.
Well,
and damn them, they don't own me. I'm not going to support it. So I think I'm mainly just trying to be free, to live free. Whatever happens. But I'm going to live free for whatever time that I can. I don't think I'm doing that to elicit an emotional pseudo, air quotes, emotional response.
Are you doing
from the state?
I have a question.
What do you
Are we trying to get it. Are we talking about state-wise, or are we talking about just a person? Because if you're trying to convince a person that to join your cause, and there are ways that where people might seem like they're being polite, but they're being aggressive by being polite. It's the way you present it.
Passive aggressive, yes.
It's passive aggressive, and it's you, like, for example, like what you were saying, Ethan, about that, Gary. I do not know anything about this guy at all, but
I think the video is on Free Keen. It's the one with the old guy in the pink shirt. But no, I think Garrett wasn't being mean or passive. I guess you call it passive aggressive. I mean, he was trying to be polite, but I guess what I'm saying is if with communication, if the other person's not interested in communicating with you, then you can still have an impact because there are people watching, and you can kind of communicate with them by being a good person.
Yeah, but I think the majority of people would be uncomfortable in that situation. Just like if Garrett had actually approached and was like maybe 5 feet away from Ian and just stood there and was like, no, I don't want to engage with you. You can engage with them, and I'll engage with them because I'm not comfortable engaging directly with you. I don't think the majority of the sheeple, of the zombies, of the statists, of the rest of humanity that has yet to awaken, I don't think that they'd be comfortable in that position.
Or maybe they just don't want somebody. They don't want to feel like somebody's shoving something down their throat. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean,
that's not that bad of a feeling. I mean, if you haven't tried it, don't knock it until you try it.
I'm just saying, though. I mean, you said sheeple, and I don't know. I mean, I guess you could kind of lump me into that too. I mean,
I would. I definitely would. Yes.
Yeah, and I look at it like, you know what? People who somebody wants to call me a sheeple or whatever the case may be, I tell you to go fuck yourself. Not you personally. I'm just saying in general.
Well, you could. To me, I mean.
And the thing is, I think you're a nice guy, and I think I'm a very level-headed person in the sense of like I can figure shit out. I'm very logical. But the thing is like, you know, I also don't feel like I don't want to be sold on something. I don't want somebody trying to force something. I want me to figure it out for myself.
You want to be able to, yeah, well, that's the only real way that we can.
I mean,
you know, I can't save you. I can't make you drink the water. I can only lead you to it. You know, I can only spark an interest in you, and then you have to do it yourself. I can't sit here and lock you in a room and put you in a straitjacket, pry open your eyeballs, and make you watch hours and hours and hours of Mises and Kokesh and all that. I can't force you to read freedom. I can only show you, hey, this might happen. Hey, here's a little bit more.
Nathan,
hey, did you hear about this?
Nathan wanted this. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say, I think what Nate's trying to say is it's not like you're taking him to the water and then offering him to drink from it. I think it's more like you're kind of calling him names as you're leading him there and saying,
I'm grabbing glasses of water out of the trough and throwing them in his face.
Take a drink, you idiot. The sun is out at noon and you're wearing 5 layers of coats. How come you're so stupid?
Well, yeah, that's exactly it. And personally, I don't know any person that would be very receptive to that. And you also got to think about this too. How many people are telling you that their way is the right way? There's about millions of different people having different ideas on what things should be. So, with you being aggressive or calling people names and saying the things that you're saying, you're only hurting yourself even more because you got so many other people who are willing to say, hey, it's all good, man. You think for yourself. You know what? Here's what we have. This is what we have to offer. See you later. And I'll be more receptive to that, even if it's probably something a million times worse than somebody else who's calling me a sheeple or whatever the hell else you want to call me, a statist or.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more. And
I have a question. I have a question for Nate, real quick.
Yeah.
Nate, why would would someone say you're a statist? You personally, Nate. I thought you were. Aren't you a libertarian?
No, I'm not.
No.
Oh, you're not?
I don't consider myself. I don't really consider myself anything. I don't have a label.
He is apolitical.
Ooh, wow, amen, brother. Because I feel like I lean more that way than me considering myself a Zeitgeist Movement guy or a libertarian guy or even a Free Stater. I'm even hesitant to sign the Free State thingy just because I don't care for being in lists of any kind.
I agree.
I'm a free agent.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I would.
But if something is presented that aligns itself with your values and an idea of the
I
world that you
definitely
think
align with
should exist,
libertarian views. I align with the libertarian views in a lot of things, but you know, if some big brouhaha happens with the libertarian movement, and I consider myself, oh yeah, I am a libertarian, that's also going to come down on me. Oh well, people are going to point the fingers at you because, hey, oh, you're one of those crazy libertarians that did such and such. And you're going to get involved in that, or the free staters. Oh, well, he's one of these free staters that got into big trouble in the park the other day. I don't want to be associated with anyone really, except in friendship. And
you
I
want to be
think
associated with.
I want to associate with people who I think I could get along with. You know,
And I
for
think
example,
that's the point of decentralization. You know, you take out.
others.
That's how you unify people, is by allowing them to be individuals. It's an evolution of unity. You have to allow people to be individuals, not groups, not labels, not we're the free state, or we're this, we're that. We're humans. We're not gonna and I don't need you to label me. I'm just gonna live free. I'm not an anarchist. I'm not an
Or
anarcho-capitalist. I'm not a anarcho-socialist. I'm not a classical liberal. I just want to live free. I don't want anybody to label me. I detest labels. You know, it's the same way with sexuality or polyamory.
But you label other people though.
I know. So I admittedly am a hypocrite, but it's something that I want to change, and I can't do that until I accept it and admit it and start actually acting on it.
It's kind of like that G.I. Joe commercial. Knowing is half the battle. G.I. Joe.
Exactly.
So Nate, how are you a so-called status? What are you, a Democrat?
I'm not anything. That's what I'm saying. I don't.
You pay your taxes?
I'm just saying, like,
I missed the whole point before. Sorry.
So when you pay your taxes, what that says to me is that you would rather not be bothered than remove your consent for the government of the United States of America to throw me in a cage. When you pay your taxes, you give them consent to throw me in a cage for not.
Wow.
Do you understand that? Like when you consent, when you refuse to speak up, that makes it okay for them to treat me however they want.
So you tell me
over because I want to travel freely.
So you tell me how I'm gonna not pay my taxes when they automatically come out of a paycheck where I work from a
quit your job.
I'm not gonna quit my job. That makes no sense. So I'm gonna quit my job, make no money, not be able to help support myself or my family. And
Well, don't quit your job before you've got an agorist job lined up, or a 1099 job at the very least. I mean, that would just be an ignorant move. You don't just quit your job out of the blue. You know, you think about it. You figure out, hey, what do I like to do that I can do without having to pay taxes directly? What is something that I think will fit
then I guess
to where I don't have to. Go ahead.
I guess I'm becoming a priest then, because you know what? There's no other way of getting out of that.
Well, that's still a tyranny as well. The church is, it is an authority. They tell you how to live. They have more authority. I think the church versus government, they're up there. They're on the elite levels, dude. In the authoritarian realms.
Because you're kind of trying to blame the victim here a little bit. Because I mean, Nate doesn't have any control over the people at his workplace and how they choose to operate. I mean,
no, he has control over himself, though.
If the mafia comes along and tells you, okay, well, since you live here, you have to pay us X amount of money, or else we'll throw you out. That's not your fault.
Well, no.
So you made it sound like Nate was somehow.
But it is your fault if you pay them.
I guess contributing to the fact that he gets taxes deducted from his paycheck.
Well, I'm just saying it's an option. It all depends on how far you want to go. I mean, if you don't want to, that does endorse your consent for the state.
So
And
what
that
do you-
is an act of aggression against
there
me,
are
and shouldn't I have the right to defend myself?
They're like, I'm glad that I have to pay Medicare taxes, but I don't think that Nate is one of those people.
No, exactly. I mean, let me ask you this, Liberty Phoenix. Do you pay taxes?
As little as I can.
But you do, though. So you're contributing to the fact that you're putting yourself in a cage.
If I have an option not to, I don't. If I have no option, okay, yes, you are absolutely right. You don't have an option at the current job that you're at, but you have an option. You have a choice to go to a different job.
No, but
The fact that you don't want to go to a different job,
I think it's that easy. Not you.
it is that easy.
If you look at it in a black and white manner, then yes. If you were like black and white, you just do this. Then that's it. I mean, that's like telling a victim who's getting beaten to just leave. Well, maybe it's not easy for that. I'm just saying, like it's you're just making it black and white. There is no black and white in this world. There's all kinds of different areas.
Well, I think so. We've all played video games before, right? I hope we've all played role playing games, right? So you're a level 1 in the beginning. At the end of the game, you're level 99. You can defeat the monster. I think it's a progression. You have certain levels that you hit, and at one point, it is white, it is black, and it varyingly you grow more as you go along, as you have interest in it. I mean, even
I think what you're saying is that you're upset that people aren't necessarily showing an interest in learning about self-ownership and about these kinds of things. Is that accurate?
The people around me, yes, yeah. But I also think that has to do with the way that I have communicated the ideals, because
Well, I think you have to draw a distinction between people who don't care about learning or improving in any way and people who do, but just haven't, found the right circumstances or the right information yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, everybody learns differently. Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, like, because
but like Nate said before,
calling someone,
I can't wake him up. He has to do it himself. But
like,
so does that mean that activism should be a way to spark
what they believe?
Sorry, say that again?
I said I could see you calling someone a sheeple if they just put their hands over their ears and say, I don't want to learn anything outside of what I already know. I'm just going to watch Fox News and I'm not going to watch any other media, blah de blah. I could see you calling someone like that a sheeple, but someone who's open to learning new things and having dialogue, it doesn't seem accurate to call that person.
It's interesting. Has anybody actually called somebody a sheeple to their face? Because I sure as hell haven't. I've insinuated it through memes and things like that, but I've never called anybody to their face a sheeple.
Yeah,
it's more like, people who aren't awake to these facts, they're sheeple, and it's kind of presented in memes, like you see on Facebook. That's the kind of sheeple and zombie thing that I would do myself, but never to a person directly, which I think in person, especially when you're with someone one-to-one and you're talking to them one-on-one, and you're more comfortable to tell them what you want to tell them, you can get your message across without having to insult them.
Yeah.
To their face.
I think you're absolutely right there.
You give them all the points, like, hey, government's bad. Look, have you noticed? Have you seen all these cops? All these cop videos of police violence. Have you not noticed? This stuff is, well, in case you haven't noticed, it's going on, and a lot of people are, well, I would even avoid saying the word "wake up."
That's
already
a stigma against that.
Yeah. But I need to learn.
It's extremely apropos, though. I mean, it fits. If the shoe fits, wear it. Waking up is kind of like what it's like. I mean, you
only know when you're awoken, when you're
what show you're going to watch the next morning, and then some little tidbit of information comes along and it sparks an interest in you, and you're like, holy shit, yeah, that makes sense to me. And then you dig a little bit deeper and you start rubbing the sleep out of your eyes, and that first initial spark is you shocking out of the actual sleep. And then you got to rub the sleep out, and you got to stretch, and you got to yawn, and you got to figure out exactly what's going on. I mean, waking up in the morning, for me at least, it's
Take
a
that
process.
morning shit. That early morning
you
shit.
gotta get rid of all that nastiness.
Get rid of the old.
Where I think I'm at right now.
Can I make a recommendation, Liberty Phoenix?
No. Of course.
I'm going to anyway. I think you'd really get a lot out of watching that video, "The Truth About Stefan Molyneux" by the Sane. He talks about what you're saying, and I agree. We're talking about people waking up. It's not a bad metaphor. In fact, it's like Nate said. Everyone out there has their philosophy and their way of viewing the world, and from their perspective, they're the ones who are woken up, and everyone else is the mindless sheep. But what I like about that Stefan Molyneux video is that he talks about coming to it from a place of empathy, about wanting to, help others learn what he's learned, as opposed to coming from a place of judgmentalness, or being judgmental and saying, I have the truth and I'm going to impose it on you. So I think
I'm still a very angry individual. I still have a lot of anger and frustration pent up in me.
And Stefan Molyneux, he's like no one else has as much zeal as he does about making videos and talking to people and getting them to change their minds. And I think I like the way he talks about in that video about how he feels like it. I don't know. I guess you could say an obligation, or he feels like it's the right thing to do to talk to others and help them to come to see the things that he sees. But he's not angry about it. And he does get angry sometimes, but he doesn't really seem to get angry in general about people, just being ignorant.
Specifically when he's talking about his mom or women in general. The last
get angry on
last show I listened to, he was that bitch and no, fuck that bitch. Talking about his mom and another caller's mom.
If people he thinks are doing something wrong or hurting others, then I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. Well, what I think it's important is that when he's talking about waking people up, so to speak, he talks about it from a place of empathy and kindness and compassion, and not, oh, you stupid bastards, why don't you wake up? Why don't you do this and that?
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yep.
example.
I'm
going to give you an example of something, though. When I was younger, up until until I met my wife, I did not like going to church. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't like anything about it. I felt like when I was there, the priest or any of the people that there, they looked down on me, almost very condescendingly. And
you felt like you were being judged.
And yes, I did feel like I was being judged a lot of times. And the church that I go to with my wife, when I met the priest, he is the most nicest, most cool guy you could ever meet. And he was very level-headed, and he
gets the true spirit of religion.
Yes, and he is probably one of the only person. He's the main reason why I even started going to church, and I'm going to his church. And I'm going to be honest with you, if they moved him to, let's say, like a different state or something, it'd be very hard for me to go back to another one.
Really? You don't have any faith that you would find another pastor or priest in your area?
I do have faith, but the thing is like...
No, I didn't mean faith as in like Holy Spirit faith. I just meant like you don't have any faith in the fact that you'd be able to find another pastor in your area.
I don't know, because I mean, and maybe I will. There are really a lot of really nice people, but he's one of those guys where you could be talking to him outside of, let's say, church, and if he wasn't wearing the little what do you want to call it, the little collar,
Mm-hmm.
you wouldn't know. He is one of those guys who'll go to the bar, have some drinks, talk some football with you, do whatever, you know what I mean? He's a very down to earth guy, but he's nice and he's open. He's not one of those people who never feel judged ever. But because of that, he got me to think, hey, you know what, man, I'm gonna go to church. I'm gonna go to this church. I'm gonna get into it. And you know what? I like it. I don't mind it. And actually, I just like where you do your chakras and everything else, I get a sense of enlightenment when I go to church. In some way or another. But he convinced.
But isn't the idea of organized religion? Do you not see how it is it's an authoritarian figure? It's just another level of control. Like at the root of it.
Isn't that funny how it works though? Because in all reality, I could come and go as I please. I could not show up for weeks. Who's gonna say one word? They don't say anything. Doesn't say one word.
Well, if they were nice, they would call and say, "Hey, I'm concerned. Are you guys? You're all right?"
No, I mean, if I
that's what the Mormon Church does.
If I was sick or something, and you know, maybe they thought I was in the hospital, he might be like, "Oh, you okay?" You know what I mean? But that's about it. He's not gonna. He's intrusive like that. It's like.
Are you required to pay like a tenth of your paycheck or something to them, or
not at all? Not at all. No.
Okay, cool.
No, you tithe
totally
what you
voluntary.
Can. It's suggested biblically that you put in 10%, but they pass around the thing. You put in whatever you can.
Biblically, but no. I mean, I don't have to. I have. I'll be honest. I've never given any money, and he's never asked anything of me. If you want to show up and be, and show up, that's great. And
so I have a question for you. I'm sorry.
They had some big need, like there was a charity drive. Would you consider contributing in that case?
If I thought it was worth it, then yes. If I thought it was worth it, and that's the
well. As far as religion is concerned, what kind of drives do they do generally that you don't think would be worth your money?
I got to think about that because they haven't really had one. Oh yeah, they had.
I mean, what does the church do?
They had one for
their
like,
church.
They had one where I guess their kitchen flooded and they got damaged. And there was like $40,000 worth of damage or some shit, and they were trying to raise funds to repair that. But I'm one of these guys where I really don't like giving money to people. You'll never see me give money to. I don't do that. What I do is
that's not true. That's not true because you gave me money when you helped fix my audio.
But that's different.
Money is nothing but a representation of your time.
I gave you my time.
Money is time.
Yes.
But
money is a representation of your time.
Well, listen to me.
Nothing more. That's why all money is fiat.
I did not give physical money. I can give people my time.
I would prefer non-physical money, to be honest. I mean, the money that you gave me was way more valuable. But what you gave me was worth, in my eyes, $150.
I'm curious, Nate. Would you be more willing to volunteer time to work in that kitchen than to donate money to repair the kitchen?
Yes.
Okay, I thought that's what you were getting at.
That's what I was trying to get at. Yeah, and what I'm saying is hey, I know on Tuesdays they do this thing where they feed they feed the homeless, stuff like that. I've considered it many a times on my day off to go down there. The only reason why I had things always pop up with life, you know what I mean? And when I want to go down there, it just didn't click with, what I wanted to, when I could go. But, I've considered it, which I don't think is a bad thing, to go help people, you know what I mean? Go, all right, we're going to give food to people who don't have food. I don't think there's a problem with that at all.
Apparently the state that you pay money to thinks that it's a crime. Because they've been putting people in jail for doing just that.
They don't put people in jail that are at a church, so I don't know.
Yes, they do. I think that was the Florida couple that was doing their outreach. I mean, that was basically their church. Those homeless people were their congregation. They were doing it on behalf of religion.
Okay, well I don't know what was going on down there. I'm talking about up here in Rhode Island. In Rhode Island, we do this, and it's perfectly fine. Okay, I don't know about Florida, and you know what? I don't have all the details to that, so I don't even want to speak to it because it's kind of one of those things. Again, you read 10 news articles, and they all have their own view on things.
That's understandable.
What's gonna sell? You know what I mean? And how is it?
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, I could give two shits. But the way I look at it is, I don't I've never been required to give money, and I guess what I'm trying, my whole, just to kind of wrap this up, make it kind of go spin around. I can't speak right now.
To take it full circle.
Take it full circle. I can't speak. What I'm saying is my priest approached me in a non-aggressive manner, and I was receptive to that because he didn't treat me like I was an idiot. Until
Yes.
you get to that point, you're never going to.
So then the question is, how do I develop the skills to approach people without being a dick?
Well,
How do I spread the ideas of liberty?
What doesn't
Give me a
work?
freaking script or something. You know, I don't know, because apparently what resonates with me verbally isn't working. So maybe I need a script.
Well, you don't need a script. You just need to be a nicer person. I mean,
I think I need a more developed idea of the supporting arguments behind the thoughts.
Status. Don't call somebody a sheeple. You know, understand too. Another thing that I think this kind of I get the whole point, but it kind of does irk me too, is this whole thing about and trust me, I'm with you when I think some officers and cops are assholes. But another thing too is you record them and you're saying things to them, kind of picking on them a little bit, picking a fight with them in some ways by saying certain things and recording them.
Are you talking about the video I did the other night?
Yeah.
That cop was fucking cool. I gave that guy so much props it wasn't even funny. That dude was amazing.
What I'm trying to say is though, he's a person.
But he's still a thief.
He's a person. He's a person who's doing a job, and you trying to get what you.
He's a person that does a job that directly supports a violent and coercive government.
But maybe he feels otherwise. So how do you get convinced?
That's not a subjective concept.
It is.
That is not a subjective concept. He is a person that does a job that supports a violent and coercive government. He can think that it's not that all he wants, but he's deluding himself. He's lying to himself if he thinks that.
That's your opinion.
It's a fact.
That is
your fact, because as a police officer, you support government. You support a centralized form of tyranny where the majority can tell the minority what to do. The 51% of the people, assumably, as long as you can beat a filibuster that takes 60%, can tell everybody in the world that you're not allowed to wear pants anymore because pants are fucking illegal now.
It's still subjective.
Yeah, what about pants?
Well, if a bill passed that said pants were illegal, cops would enforce it.
But that wouldn't happen. Do you know why it wouldn't pass? Because we'd all be like...
How can you say that wouldn't happen when laws have been passed in this country that says that the central government can pick me up with no cause whatsoever, but just because somebody has some arbitrary idea that I'm a terrorist and throw me in a case for the rest of my life. But you think that they wouldn't pass a law that says that pants are illegal and the cops would enforce it?
I know that wouldn't happen, though. That law would not be passed.
How about a law that says you are not allowed to sag your pants? Makes it illegal to sag your pants.
That is a dumb law, too.
It exists.
But at the same case...
So don't tell me that they wouldn't make a law
if it
benefited them to people for people not to wear pants, if it benefited them, they wouldn't make it because they'd pass it in a fucking heartbeat.
Okay.
Okay. Can I give one anecdote before we wrap this up?
Sure.
Okay. There's this guy on Free Talk Live. His name is Brian Tan, I think. And Ian, Derek, and someone else did a show last week. I think it was the Wednesday show where they talked. That Brian guy wasn't on, but they mentioned him in passing. So for Nate, if you don't know, Ian did some civil disobedience and got to stay at the Keene County Jail or whatever for a month.
Yeah.
And while he was there, he met this guard named Brian. And eventually that guy, Brian, ended up quitting his job and coming on the show and talking about, I didn't think about it before, but, I realized that, this prison is putting people in there for nonviolent reasons and, they shouldn't be there. And I think it's important that Ian was, like you're saying, polite and, not aggressive while he was there. Because, that guy didn't have to talk to Ian. You know, he was just like doing his job, and he didn't have to, you know, listen to him or give him any time at all. But the fact that Ian was compassionate and not aggressive made him more receptive to the ideas that he eventually embraced.
Exactly.
And now
I think that was.
talks about how it's, you know, the prison industrial complex and all that.
Oh, I agree that there's a lot of people that the prison is just a money-making thing, and people are getting put in prison for no fucking reason at all. But at the same case, to get back to what I was trying to say is, you know, people who become firefighters want to save lives. People who the main idea, people who become police officers, they're not thinking, oh, I'm gonna go fucking be an asshole and fucking
bullshit. I know several cops who I've spent years knowing in the Marine Corps that went into police, into that field for that specific reason. Like, I have spoken to pure psychopaths and pointed it out to them, and they laugh about it. Like, yeah, I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna beat the shit out of people if they talk back to me, because I can. He literally said this to me.
And how old is this person when he was saying this? Like a fucking 19-year-old little stooge? Yeah, he's 23. He's a fucking idiot. Okay, let me explain to you something. There are people out there that are fucking idiots. End of story. We got to deal with the idiots. However, there are people out there who legitimately go into this stuff, and they're doing it because they think they're doing it for a good cause. Whether you agree,
but if you allow there to be a seat of power where an idiot can take over, they're going to abuse it. Get rid of the seat of power, and then you don't have to worry about it. As far as the police, if there was some competition, if the state didn't have the monopoly on it, I wouldn't care. Like, I'm not saying don't have police. I'm saying don't have a monopoly on force. Allow there to be competing, companies that can provide protection like the police do.
Hey, Phoenix, I have to say something. That's why, if it was voluntary, let's say if it was a voluntary police force, whoever volunteers, they're gonna and not get paid, of course. They're gonna be doing it for the to create peace. They're going for the right reasons. They're going there to make a change, to
There's not a chance in hell that I'd volunteer my time freely without getting paid, especially to put my life on the line.
You know what? The military, I swear, when people say volunteer, when they're talking about going to the military, that's another thing. You're not volunteering because they're paying you. You know, I think somebody was talking about that on their show recently.
When they say that the military is a voluntary military, that's because it's not direct conscription. You don't have to go. There's no draft. That's what makes it voluntary.
Yeah, but you're getting paid, and maybe your intent is to get money and get housing and
that was my intent.
You know,
my thing is
not to save America. You didn't go to save America.
If you start having competing forces trying to protect and serve, what do you think's going to happen? It's going to turn into fucking gangs. I mean,
no, I think that you're going to have you're going to have different areas of neighborhoods that are patrolled by different peacekeeping forces.
So malicious.
You know, if you want to do it,
I like it. I like how Mark on Free Talk Live put it today. He talked about how 100 years ago or 200 years ago, people didn't believe that people of different religion could live next to each other. You know, because you had Protestants killing Catholics and Catholics killing Protestants, and you had all these wars. But today in Boston, you can walk down the street and you can see a mosque and I don't know what they call them in Catholicism, a cathedral or a temple or whatever.
Yeah.
That would be Judaism.
And a church, and they can all be together on the same street, and they're not all fighting each other.
Exactly. You can have different, but you see, and I'm remiss to call it a gang when it's competing levels of force, because it's if they're held accountable, then they're not going to walk around like they're a bunch of gangbangers that can do whatever the hell they want, because you know. It's not going to be a bunch of different gangs. It's going to be a bunch of different service providers that are held accountable to their shareholders, to their constituents, to the people that pay their salaries. They will be held accountable, because guess what? If you beat the crap out of my neighbor, you're fired. Not, well, your police union is going to come in and they're gonna back you up. They're gonna make it completely impossible for you to get fired. And while they're doing the investigation, you're gonna get 4.5 months of paid vacation to where you can go down to the Florida Keys and go fucking marlin fishing
Hold on a
with
second.
your buddies. I
Hey,
mean,
listen though, and you don't think that can get corrupt? Let me explain to you something.
everything can get corrupt. You need a citizenry
hold on,
that
Liberty.
wants to be responsible
Nate
for holding their people accountable. That's where the decentralization comes into play.
Yeah, here's the thing: is in a perfect world, what you're saying,
We don't need a perfect world.
well, it sounds awesome.
We don't need a perfect world. You don't have to do this in a perfect world. You can do this with the world we have now, with the psychopathy that is rampant in this culture. You could still do it. You could decentralize the governing forces of this society, and it will stick together. You just don't have one seat of power where somebody can rise. That's what I wanted to call Davi Barker about psychopathy. You can have a seat of power where there is not one central person controlling it. I mean, you can.
That's the thing. Isn't that the whole point of what we got going on now?
No, we don't have. We have a centralization. All right, there, every single level. You have. All right, you look at the family. You got either the mom or the dad. They're the power structure. They are the central. They say what it goes. All right, and then okay, you look at a neighborhood. Maybe you've got your neighborhood watch. Maybe you've got a tight-knit neighborhood. Maybe you live in like a middle-class area where you've got neighborhood watch, and everybody comes over to someone's house to barbecue because they have the best deck and they have a pool. There's a centralized area where everybody governs what's going to go on in that neighborhood. Or you've got a city. Or you've got a city council with people that are elected. There's always different levels of centralization. You can remove that necessity for a central governing body with the technologies that are available now. We don't have to be ruled by someone. We can rule ourselves. We have to want to rule ourselves. We have to stop wanting the state to tell us how we live and what we can and what we cannot do. We have to stop expecting the state to give us our bread and water and our fucking shows of gladiatorial sport, and we have to take responsibility for our own damn lives. Go ahead, Nate. You look like you want to say something.
Who, me? Oh, you can see. You can see me right now, huh?
There's the tiny little boxes. Yeah, you were smiling.
Oh yeah. No, I'm just listening to you.
Well, can I ask something real quick?
Yeah.
Nate,
No.
were you expecting him to talk about what he talked about, or were you asking a more mundane question about police fighting each other? I'm not trying to figure out.
See, my thing is when I asked, he went on a little bit of a tangent, which is fine.
I didn't do that.
See, when I bring up certain scenarios, I want like more. I try to get more of a direct answer, but that's fine. See, my thing is
well, it sounded like Liberty Phoenix wasn't really answering like directly what you were asking. Is that
Okay? So I assume I missed something. So ask it again.
we kind of went off. We kind of went off on a completely other direction, but that's fine. I guess my whole point is if you want to be able to communicate more effectively to people and try to get your point across, you're gonna have to do it in a way where you're gonna have to just do it in a way where
my emotions are more controlled.
More emotions are more controlled, and you're also gonna have to present it differently to every single person that you know, because not everybody is the same person, and you know what? You're going to have to understand that. And realize that when you talk to people, not everybody's going to be receptive to you. I know I've talked to you on a personal level, so I know I think you're a nice guy. So when you get upset or I feel like you're getting angry, I just laugh about it because I'm like, he's just getting into what he's doing. He's getting passionate is the best way to put it. But if I was somebody completely different, the first thought would be in my head would be
This guy's a fucking nut.
I have a very sharp tongue when I get angry, and I would instantly start lashing back at you. However, I know you, and I know you're not being aggressive towards me in that manner. You're just talking to me. We're having a conversation. You're getting passionate. So, in saying to that is just know that if it was somebody else that was similar to me that doesn't know you, they would probably lash back at you, and the conversation would go nowhere, other than bumping chess. So I'm just saying, it's gonna be trial by fire. You're gonna have to figure out different ways and different approaches, just like anything else.
Well, I think it can also be real frustrating too, because a lot of the times, like I was alluding to earlier with the story about the pre-keen video, you get people who don't really want to have a conversation. They just kind of want a platform to yell at you or like call you names or whatever.
Yeah.
But it can also be frustrating if you're talking with someone and they have like they don't understand basic logic or economics or something. That can also be frustrating. Like on the you mentioned the police fighting each other thing. A lot of times people like libertarians will answer that with an economics argument. They'll say, well, if you have a market and you have competitors, and you have this and this and this, then they won't fight each other. But you see, then people will say, well, I don't like economics, or I don't understand economics, or there was a Nobel Prize winning economist who disagrees with you. You know, they'll say something like that, and that can also be really frustrating.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you also got to think about when I was saying they're going to fight against each other, they would. I mean, in reality, I mean, just like anything else, the other one's going to try to put the other one out of business, and eventually there's going to be one big top dog, just like there is now.
That's the basically the thing is that's the first.
I don't think that's true though.
When confronted with that argument. So,
but it's true though. I mean, because you got to think, if you look at it in the business world today, and how things work, I'll put it into the cable industry. You have Time Warner, Comcast. You got some other ones like small ones trickling around. Comcast is the biggest one as it is, and now they just bought out Time Warner, who was the second largest.
AT&T.
And then,
who just bought DirecTV?
AT&T, who was one of the largest phone companies, who just
bought DirecTV, and then you got Dish Network, who decided, hey, fuck you both, I'm going to accept Bitcoin.
So what I'm trying to say is like, there's going to be one large company, no matter what way you look at it, in the long run, it will. Just like it's happening now with something similar to this. And it's just the way it is. And because when you start doing things like that, and you start having competition, you start making it where like these people are competing for customers almost.
They absolutely are. I mean, that's one of the main things that I tell my customers is the fact that every single one of these companies are the same. They're all gonna fuck you.
Because you're saying that a market tends toward monopoly, right?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so then that's basically a kind of economics thing, and I guess I would have to provide evidence for industries that don't tend toward monopoly in order to kind of communicate with you, as opposed to like calling you names or whatever.
Exactly. No, and you know what?
You damn statist.
You said it perfectly, though. You said it perfectly. You would have to come up with companies that does not happen to, and then you could say, okay, well then I can say, oh, well, that makes sense. You know what I mean? You would provide it in a different manner to me. See, you gotta hang Liberty. What you should do is when you go to think about saying something, you ever call the Nathan?
I'm an admitted brutalist, man. It's just I haven't developed my skills enough. I've got certain skills that are lacking. One of them is communication.
Well, that's what I was going to say. It's not necessarily about skill, because I think the way you're talking about like the arguments is okay. We were just more focusing on tone and kind of like where your emotions are coming from.
Well, like I don't think I could really remove that. Oh my God, my dad's calling me. Hi, Dad. Hey, Dad, what's going on?
He's yelling.
I didn't sign out on your goddamn computer because I don't know. I'm on the air right now. Would you like to say hi to everybody and berate me?
No.
Oh.
No.
I would like my emails off your computer as well. All right, so here's what you do. You get a hold of my buddy Nate. He's going to take over your computer, and he's going to fix it for you. My buddy Nate. No, Dad, all right, so what you need to do, there's a little, you know the little gear when you're in my Yahoo Mail?
Why am I Mario?
Don't click on it, just kind of highlight it. and come down to sign out.
Is this what's happening every time your dad clicks on something? A Mario coin pops up.
No, that's me.
All right,
just
and then you sign out of my account, and then you can
soundboard.
sign into your account.
Hey, mute your mic, Liberty. We're gonna talk.
He mute his mic.
Yeah.
Did he mute? Okay, I think.
So I was gonna say I kind of had an objection similar to yours for a while, because I thought that like big companies could always kind of defeat smaller companies by undercutting them.
Yeah.
Like you would take a loss in one market, and then you would take a loss deliberately in order to drive a smaller company out of business.
Yeah.
And I heard an example about bromine that changed my mind about that. The what's his name? The founder of the guy who invented bromine had a company here in the U.S. like in the late 1880s or 1890s, and the European kind of companies had a big cartel, like the German companies. I think mainly they had all the bromine market, and the guy in the U.S. had a better method for making it that was cheaper, I think. And so the representatives from Germany came over and said, well, you'd better agree to fix the prices the way we want, or else we're going to, like undercut you and drive you out of business. And he said, bring it on, basically.
Yeah.
And he won the battle and was able to, basically, because they were basically what he did was he would buy the bromine from them at the lower price and then sell it back. So
Well, yeah, I guess it works in that sense. That would make sense to me. But if you're, I guess if you look at it as like more of a service, like a telephone service, I can't take that telephone service and rebroadcast. You know what I mean? So if you're like an actual provider or something, and you're thinking about it in that way, a service provider, it would be a little bit harder to do that because you see like companies like AT&T and stuff like that. Providing like a cheaper like phone service, let's just say, and they're undercutting, even though they're reporting losses, they're taking the consumers away from that company in hopes of that company going under, and then once that happens and those discounts that those customers got because they undercutted the company so bad, those prices go up. Well, now they're the only competitor around, and guess what? Now they're making all the money hand over fist.
yeah, I think part of it is the idea of free entry, like you're saying, like can you actually compete with them? Because if you can actually compete with them, I mean, like take Google for example, they're at the top right now because of their search algorithm, but if Bing somehow came up with a better one, then they'd be able to undercut them, and then they'd be on top. See what I mean there? So. Sometimes people assume that because whichever company is on top, like they'll always be there. And I mean, how many
search algorithms don't really matter when you call your father a murderer.
What?
I gotta turn off this fan. I'm dying.
If you would have only been privy. I'm sorry. Continue.
Oh well, I was gonna say just because a company is on top right now doesn't mean they'll always be that way. How many companies that were on the top 500 or whatever of the Fortune 500 in 1970 are still top companies today?
Apple. IBM maybe isn't.
They go up and down. In this, they were saying that Apple was not. I saw an article where they weren't coming out with anything new.
Well, no, they've been doing the iPhone
next
17
quarter or whatever
for the last 20 years.
Yeah, imagine if Apple hadn't come up with the iPhone. Where would they be right now?
No, you're right. They had the money.
Where would Android be?
That's true. I mean, they had the money to.
Where would Palm Pilot be?
That's why I don't believe in intellectual property. Androids were created because of iPhones. They directly copied it.
Not. Yes.
Oh my God, that tequila was good.
The idea they copied.
Woo!
They copied the idea, I guess, but I wouldn't say they copied it like piece by piece. I mean, the idea is there. Yes, obviously, if that's the way everything's going.
The code's completely different, though.
Exactly. So you could copy it. You could I'll give you an example. I mean, if that was the case, my show was probably a copy of every other fucking show that's out there.
Absolutely.
And
Abso-fucking-lutely.
it all depends on my delivery of my own stuff. So as long as it's original delivery, then it's fine.
Which is why.
So if you originally deliver it, if you deliver it, differently, so you can't copy and paste.
Well, I mean,
Right.
I'm not going to sit there and just to give an example, Opie and Anthony do a show, and then I just turn around and listen to the show. I get all the same embeds and everything else like that, and then say the same exact things as them. I mean, that would make absolute no sense. You know what I mean?
Well, but it's
copy.
not a crime. It's not wrong. It's piss poor production value. But hey, if people really want that, they're going to go to the source. A few people are going to go to you, but the people that actually are listening to Opie and Anthony, they're going to go to Opie and Anthony. They're going to be like, oh, look at this second-rate hack.
But then you think about like this. Now, let's say there's 30 of me doing it now. Now it's flooding the market with all kinds of shit. So what makes you think they're going to go see Opie and Anthony?
Well, yeah, but are you comfortable using violence and force and coercion against all those other 30 people that are flooding the market?
I'm not going to use violence. What do you think I'm going to do? Get a bat with spikes on it and beat them up?
No, you're going to vote. You're going to pay your taxes.
Okay, so and you pay your taxes, so
And they're gonna put laws against that. They're gonna say, hey, you can't do this, and if you do this, we're gonna shoot you in the head, or we'll throw you in a cage.
no, they don't say that. They're not going to shoot me in the head.
Actions speak louder than words, brother. You know that's true.
But listen, so you're so you're so like over the top sometimes. I just laugh because you're crazy as shit.
Yeah, I know.
You're making me lose my train of thought when you say things like
That's me. That's what happens when you come on Unity Evolved and you have to deal with Ken the Phoenix of Liberty out of your holy crap. He's a fucking nut. Yeah.
Well, you see, the way Michael Dean would have explained that is he would have said, well, if you refuse to pay your taxes, then you'll get a letter, and then if you don't answer the letter, then you'll get a guy with a clipboard and glasses knocking on your door, and if you tell him...
Yeah, see, that's where I'm black and white. You're going to do it or you're shot. No, there's steps and progressions and so on and so forth, and those are the gray levels. Those are the gray areas. The letters and the fines and the so on. Nigga, we're going to shoot you. You pay me my money or I'm going to put a bullet through your head. Bullet through your head. You don't want to register your vehicle. Bullet through your head.
But the other people,
Period.
like, people you're trying to explain the idea to, you have to talk about that progression because, like, if a guy is running a taco shop and he has to pay taxes, he's going to say, well, no one ever comes to my shop with a gun, So you can't just tell him that, right? Because to him it doesn't really make sense.
Right.
Yeah, but that's what you were doing though. You were saying that if you don't pay your taxes, then they'll shoot you, and
They will.
Well, I mean, in a sense, but it's a progression. Just because something happens in a progression doesn't mean that the end and the beginning is the same thing.
No. You see, if you don't pay your taxes, the end result is they will shoot you.
But to ordinary people you're trying to explain the idea to, they don't see the in-between steps, so they don't see
You're absolutely right, but I have no patience for dumb people.
No one comes into my shop and tells me that I have to do X, Y, Z, or else they'll shoot me. What are you talking about?
You're absolutely right. They don't come into your shop and do it and have a good conversation with you. This is the 21st century, my friend. They send you a letter, or they send you an email, or
there's
they
just
expect
one
you to
rule
go to
you
their,
have to
to
follow,
their website
man.
and find out what their restrictions and their requirements are.
It's called don't be a dick.
Hey,
That's all you gotta follow, right?
Liberty, Ken.
Yo,
Anybody ever tell you look like Neo?
No.
The
I'd actually appreciate, and I would be flattered to be, equated to Keanu Reeves, because from what I hear, Keanu Reeves as the actual man, the person, the individual.
I'm not talking about him. I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about.
I know I'm tangenting.
I'm talking about the hip hop star.
Neo?
Neo, yeah, he wears a fedora.
Well, I am black,
So how are you supposed to talk to these kids if you don't know pop culture? You gotta get with the times, man. If you don't know who Neo is, you're not.
Fuck you! Did you just call me old? You son of a bitch! Holy shit, mother!
Okay.
Man,
How about-
God, what the? I swear to. Holy shit! That is. Oh my God! I'm speechless.
He doesn't know a lot about video games either. Nate.
You know what? Screw you. You give me a Super Nintendo or a PlayStation, and I got you. Give me NES, whatever. Xbox 360,
What's a
GameCube, all
What's a
that.
PS3?
That shit's gay. I got better shit to do.
Yes, I recommended a video
Calm.
earlier about communication with Stefan Molyneux. Nate, can you recommend a video where someone just talks about hip hop?
Yeah. If
Like
you
a
go,
person on YouTube who
if you-
sits there and tells you about, not talk to you like a baby, but we'll talk about it.
If you go to hustlers.com. No, just kidding. No.
Glendon Cameron.
No.
GlendonCameron.com or YouTube.com/Glendon Cameron. One of the guys that frequents the LRN chat room Kickstart. He loves Glendon Cameron.
I'm gonna.
I had no idea what a fedora was until I just looked it up. The funky little hat.
Wow.
I guess what I'm asking is there a Khan Academy for pop music somewhere, something like that?
Where's the
Yeah,
chat?
it's called Total Request Live with Carson Daly. I'm sure you can find it on YouTube.
First of all, that's been going for like 20 years, dude. I don't know.
Exactly.
I just put this huge ass link. I don't know if that's what the hell? That's not what I wanted to do.
Oh, did you copy a Google search result?
Yeah, I'm an idiot. I clicked on the wrong fucking thing. Hold on a second.
Yeah, that happens when you do that.
Yeah, copy. Trying to get you a link here to this guy. Click on that. I don't know where it goes to.
Holy shit, that's a huge link. Is
No,
that on the dark net?
the one on the bottom? The one on the very bottom.
Highline Ballroom.
Just
People.
look at the fedora. That's what you look like. That's the guy.
I'm gonna. Do I really have to defend myself against your aggression at Porkfest? Redirect notice. The previous page is sending you to another page. If you don't want to visit that page, you can return to the previous page.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey, I have a couple of things to say real quick to the guests here.
Yeah.
First of all, real quick, Nathan, bro, I really admire. I like listening to you on Free Talk Live as well. Every time you call in, it's kind of, you get that happy, it's like your cool friend next door kind of vibe to it.
Thanks.
So it's pretty cool. And I actually have called the show before, Free
You
Talk
have?
Live. Yes, I have. You could count them with your hands, like 2 or 3 times. But I called talking about wanting to do a podcast, and how do the Free Talk Live people manage to, get used to talking confidently on the microphone? And you called in, and so did. No, well, yeah, you called in.
Oh,
And
yeah, I
you
think I
gave
remember
me
someone called
advice.
in and said they were shy on the microphone, and I called in about my story
Yeah,
of
that's
how
it.
you can be shy on the microphone, something like that.
Mm-hmm. And how you started with Stephanie Murphy, because she kind of, she was inviting to you, I guess. She makes the conversation
It's funny
easy.
you bring that up because it brings it all back to Nate's point about other people being accepting and non-aggressive to you. Because I originally was kind of shy on the microphone and talking to people, so I got kind of a start with Stephanie's show because Nate probably doesn't know, but she did this kind
Are
of
you talking about Pork Therapy?
therapy show.
Yeah.
And she's pretty much the nicest, most non-judgmental person in the world. So I knew
Well,
that
I
if
just
I
hate
her
her.
show and sounded stupid, then it wouldn't matter because she wouldn't, get angry or judge me for it. And
Wait a minute.
if I hadn't have had her, being that, accepting in that way, then I might not have been able to do it. So that's another good example of being non-judgmental of others.
And that's what Nate, not Nathan, Nate, right? You were talking about from the beginning. These cops are people. They're all actually individual. You can't talk to them about hey, you're aggressing against me. It's not going to kind of click in their head unless, you have to steer
You
the
have to connect to the
conversation.
people on a personal level?
Yeah, connecting to them on a personal level.
You gotta build
Not all cops are dicks that want to kick your ass.
They're not all dicks, but they are all thieves. They are all
Okay, yeah.
enforcers and supporters of a government
Okay.
coercive system,
Okay.
of a coercive government system,
Was
which
I on point,
utilizes
Nate?
force and violence to mandate human action. Every cop does it. Every cop supports it. Every cop, when they put on that shiny badge, they say, yes, this is what I believe in. I will put my life on the line defending you and yours from the fucking crack dealer down the street.
Yes, Nate.
No, nothing. I don't have anything.
So, yeah, and a question: are you going to Porkfest?
I'm gonna try. I just I got a lot of things that just started going on.
He's got to, shampoo his hair.
No, not at all. I have a lot of stuff going on that I have to get figured out first before I decide that. I wanted to, but I'm like working my ass off right now, so trying to.
Yeah.
Well, you're in
You know
Rhode
what?
Island. You're a hell of a lot closer than I am.
Oh yeah.
Damn, I just slurred.
You drunk?
I'm Cody after a bottle and a half of wine. Holy crap! It only took a 6-pack and a pint of fucking tequila.
That explains a lot.
So I was wondering real quick, Nate, since I don't know you, I don't even know your show or anything like that. Maybe this is a good time for you to plug your show and maybe tell me a little bit about yourself, because
Sure.
well, you know me, I'm mainly the editing guy of this show. I do better editing than speaking. But I leave that to Liberty. Liberty's great on that. Liberty Phoenix. So Nate, yeah, what do you do and what's your show and
well,
how'd you get involved with these Liberty people if you're not a libertarian?
I do a comedy talk radio show. Sometimes it's comedy, sometimes it's not. We're just pretty much crazy guys who just kind of talk about, how we tell stories, talk about anything we really want. I mean, essentially the way we got involved is me and Cody. Cody used to do a regular.
Cody and I.
You know what, man?
Oh, he does that a lot, but
What?
I'm sorry, I love you. I love you.
I know. No, so
us dudes, just
Cody,
us dudes.
Yeah, I met Cody through a podcast group because he did a comedy talk show as well instead of being libertarian comedy talk radio, so we just became friends and we started doing shows together a lot. And then he ended up joining Learn FM, and I just still call into his show. And we do a lot of joint stuff too. But yeah, I do a comedy talk show. I've been doing it since 2010, and I just have fun. It's a good hobby. Kind of lets me relax. I want to say I'm a very laid back individual. I like joking around a lot. I'm not really serious all that much. I like to just kind of like just have a good time.
I like to mess with the pork.
What was that?
You like to dip your finger in the pork and find out what it tastes, just like Kermit. Do we still have Kermit on?
I like to. Oh, you're calling him. That's mean now. So you're picking on him. That's picking on him right now because he actually.
What?
Yep, you're picking on. You're being a bully.
Yeah, I'm teasing you, Nate. I'm sorry.
No,
you're using a verbal aggression there, Liberty.
No, see, here's my thing.
Well, you see, that's my problem because if I don't pick on you, I don't like you. If I don't pick on you, then that means I don't love you. If I start to actually start antagonizing you and fucking with you, and trying to throw those ouchies out there, that just means that I love you. How fucked up am I?
That kind of reminds me of the comic book character, the little angel girl who clubs the guy to death and then brings him back to life.
I wish I had those powers.
No,
I don't. Violence.
How she shows her love by beating him with the club.
What is this? What comic is this?
It was like Club to Death Angel or something.
Club to Death Angel.
It's just like what you were saying. She clubs him to death and then brings him back to life, and that's how she shows her love.
I'd love to do that to Ken.
Me or your co-host?
No, you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I want to club you with kisses. I'm just kidding.
Oh, you do care. I knew it.
No, so
Man, you know, you guys, you're all such wonderful individuals, and I'm so drunk right now that you guys are awesome, and I love you all.
so I call
Now, does that really sound like the stereotypical drunk guy?
No, it just sounded like somebody who's trying to be the stereotypical drunk guy.
Yes, That's what I was shooting for.
Uh,
Go ahead,
anyways, like I was saying, me and Cody did a lot of joint shows.
Cody and I.
He's still at it.
I really do.
So you did the joint shows and
People started just in the libertarian or liberty movement. I guess just assume because I call in there all the time that I'm a libertarian, but in all reality, I mean, I like I said
You
before,
still a statist?
I'm me. I'm Nate. That's what I am. So I would say that I call on the Cody
Nate
show.
the human.
I enjoy Cody's show. You know, me and Cody. He's listening right now. You know, we're BFFs. I'm just kidding.
oh, Cody was listening the whole time.
He's been listening. Yeah,
Nate has the real connection with Cody.
Yeah.
They've met in real life.
we've touched D's.
Yes, you have crossed streams, my friend.
Bumped uglies.
Nah, he's you know.
You guys have defeated the Stay Puff Marshmallow Man together. You crossed the streams, my friend. You crossed the streams.
See,
You know they say don't cross them.
did right there. What you
Well,
just
that's
did
'cause
right
crossing
there.
the streams is kind of gay. But
You-
I'm sorry, I like crossing the streams,
You
and
used
it's okay to be gay.
you used a pop culture reference that was from the '80s. I just want to state that.
And I am so happy about it because if you don't know
Ghostbusters?
what the motherfucking Venkman said to goddamn to Egon 15 minutes before they destroyed the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, you are not cool enough to hang out with me. Done and done.
You're a statist, man. I don't know what to tell you.
Amen.
If
I'm
you
a
want
drunk
to listen to my show,
volunteer anarcho-libertarian. I don't want to. I'm
Liberty
I'm a
Phoenix.
Nate. I don't
Liberty
want the
Phoenix.
label. Go ahead, Hef.
Let's let Nate finish his plug because I was interested. I want to get to hear it too. His show.
No.
Where can we go?
it's kind of crazy, so just be prepared for that. Well, we have a good time, and I think you'd enjoy it too, because we do say whatever comes to mind, and you know.
Can I call in the show?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
live. It's live every Friday at 7:30. You can call in. You can either Skype at Legacy Radio, or you can call our show line. But you can also go to Legacy
What's the number for the show line?
401-384-0622.
And that's 7:30
401-384-0622. I think I said that right.
Yes, you did.
because there are people in
Hey.
the U.S. who do not live on the East Coast.
Yeah, but I said Rhode Island, so you know
That's Pacific.
it's very.
Wait. No. Atlantic?
Yeah.
East Coast.
Yep. East Coast.
There you go.
But anyways,
Representing.
Jersey.
anyway. Yeah, you can also, if you want to check us out on iTunes, you can. LegacyRadio.net/iTunes. We are running.
And you guys currently have a promotion going on, right? You have a contest going on, don't you?
Yes. If you leave us a 5-star written review on iTunes, you'll be entered into a drawing to win a pair of, they're called Immersion iSport headphones. They're worth about $109. And
Bear in mind, full disclosure, you have to use your credit card to create an account on iTunes. I tried doing it, and I was frustrated because I couldn't vote him 5 stars, so I couldn't enter into it.
you know, you can go to the Walgreens and get yourself a prepaid debit card.
You can go to
Those
cashintocoins.com,
little $5 iTunes
purchase
cards.
some bitcoins, and then you can go to gyft.com and purchase a gift card with Bitcoin, and you can utilize that in order to get your iTunes account created. So if you want to only use Bitcoin in your life, you can still give Nate from LegacyRadio.com a 5-star rating.
Yeah, just give us Bitcoin. We take Bitcoin as donation.
How about I send you Bitcoin instead?
That's
No, I would like to. I would like to see this right now.
No, iTunes is weird. They make you use a credit card, but you don't have to use an actual credit card. Like I said, you could go to Walgreens and get like one of those rechargeable like debit card things.
So in other words, you have to spend $5 on a debit card, or else give them your credit card number to get an iTunes account.
Yes.
Okay.
Which I don't see the big deal because they don't charge you anything.
Other than the fact that we like decentralization.
All right.
Well, yeah, but I mean, just because someone has your credit card doesn't, I mean, they could always get hacked at some point in the future, so you're still taking a
It
risk.
happens all the time.
You're right.
What was it, 3 times last year?
You're right. But anyways, if you want to do that, you can. Or if you want, you can just listen to my show and then add me on Facebook or something.
And can we donate to you through Bitcoin?
You can. You can go right to our
What
website.
about Litecoin?
Nah, I'm all set.
What about Dogecoin?
Set up, Nate?
LegacyRadio.net/Facebook or LegacyRadio.net/Twitter.
Because I was looking
How
at
about Tatiana Coin?
Stefan Molyneux's videos. I noticed under each video he has about 16 links, like to his Facebook and Twitter, and then to LinkedIn and Google Plus. And he strikes me as one of those guys who could kind of rattle them all off, and if you just ask him.
Yeah, I mean we do them all. I mean any social platform we're pretty much on, even the ones that don't even get used, like Google Plus.
Wow.
I don't use Google Plus. I hate, first of all, I hate the fact that the way it works. Like YouTube, it's screwed up the way they do it, and you can't actually have a legitimate chat room with people, so nobody can actually sit in there in the chat. And then on top of it, if you use any music that YouTube decides that they, even if
I disagree, because the Corey Moore Show broadcasts exactly the same way that we're doing now, and they have access to the LRN chat room.
That's different, though. They're using an IRC chat. What I'm talking about, it's not integrated all in one. Where it becomes a pain in the ass, because some people don't want to think about it. Now, could I have my own IRC chat? Yes, but I do like the fact that I just use Ustream, which has a built-in chat.
He's
This
also
makes it
afraid to play
easier.
music too, right?
Yeah, you can't play music, because what happens is if you play it, like for example, I have a couple songs that I'm from artists that have given me permission, and when you go to play them, YouTube flags them, and then they can pull your video down.
Yeah, I completely ignored them as far as that on the last episode. I played a few musical breaks, and I was like, yeah, and YouTube is telling me that I'm violating their terms of fuck YouTube. But
so that's why I have to, in the end, just slap it on in the podcast. Whatever.
Right,
the
you
heck
gotta
I
cut it
want,
all out of
whatever
there.
you want. Yeah. I don't like that. I hate this
Sorry to
whole
derail
copyright
you a
thing.
little here, but I was wondering, is there a way to pitch shift it in your mixer or on your computer somehow so you can do that?
Yeah, there is. Probably. But
Okay.
everything gets...
I meant if you personally knew how to do it, because I know there is a way to do it.
Well, guys, I really wanted to touch upon Adam Kokesh's book, Freedom. I don't know if any of you guys have listened to it or read it so far.
And
Yeah,
now,
I heard the audiobook. It was pretty good and very easy to hear, to listen to.
I gotta go, but I'm gonna let Nate stay on here, and I'm just gonna turn my camera off. All right? My mic.
okay, I'll hang up when we're done.
All right, sounds good. Later.
Thank you, Nate, for hanging out.
No problem, man.
So, Liberty, can you tell me real quick what's Adam Kokesh's book about?
It is about the transition from voluntarism, from statism to voluntarism. It's a roadmap as far as I'm concerned. If you have any questions about how you want to live in an anarchist society without a centralized government, and I'm slurring now, yay! If you have any questions on how you actually want to be in a voluntary society as opposed to a society that has a coercive government, this will give you the bricks and the pavement and the asphalt and the solar roadways to create that in your mind so that you have the concepts and the ideas. He takes Rothbard and Mises and Paul and Free Talk Live and Cantwell, and he combines them all into this great, like, he is what I think we all should be, because he's not afraid to stand up and defend himself, the same as Cantwell, but he doesn't go to the extent that Cantwell does. And he has the background and go ahead.
Does he talk about the rifle and then hence going to jail?
No. It's a book on freedom. Like, he covers intellectual property and all kinds of different issues. Let me see here. Let me find the contents. Okay, let's see. Here. Maybe if it wants to move. Thank you, computer. I appreciate your lag.
People who've never heard of freedom or liberty before?
So, the introduction. So when you start on freedom, the first thing that he has to cover is, of course, the philosophy. And I'm just going to be reading the contents. All right? So, after the philosophy, he goes to expound upon what freedom is, and I assume it is. He defines what all these ideas are and what's going on before you even get into how to change them, because you have to know what you have to change before you can change it. Okay, so he explains what the philosophy of freedom is, which is essentially self-government. Okay, he goes on to define what freedom is and government, and what statism is, and what property is, and what is voluntarism. Right? In his second chapter, he goes on to a brief history of power, and who the evolution of the government racket has been controlled by, and what's patriotism, and why do governments use propaganda. And the last part of that part is government versus technology. Will technological obsolescence make government irrelevant? All right. His third chapter is entitled War. Some of the sub-paragraphs are the greatest crime against freedom. He covers soldiering, which was a part that I really, really enjoyed, being a Marine.
Well, that's
as long as I go ahead.
That's what he was. So that part would be his own personal experience.
Well, he doesn't really reference his personal experiences. He references more from an objective point of view.
Okay, so he's writing about soldiers and the military, and he's not, but without telling you that he was...
the profession of soldiering. And being brainwashed into thinking that you're a freedom fighter and you're doing good.
Because it seems like it would be more, I guess, poignant if he would talk in his own voice there instead of just kind of talking in general. Like, I did this,
you have to check out the book in order to find out. You'd have to check out the book in order to find out. But the next part that he goes into is the motivations for war. And then after he
Nathan,
covers that,
just so you know, that book, he turned it into audio.
Correct.
He converted it into an audiobook, too.
Yeah, I've listened to the audiobook about 4 or 5 times. And it's completely free, and it's available at AdamVersusTheMan.com/freedom. AdamVersusTheMan/freedom. AdamVersusTheMan/freedom. And you can check out his book, and you can get it for free as a PDF or as an audio file. Or you can wait till the end of... and I think it's the end of June or the beginning of July to purchase it, full on.
I wonder how much money it costs to get your book published.
Well, if you're super rich, you can just buy the publishing company, kind of like what Arthur did in that movie, Russell Brand. Did you guys see that flick?
No.
Again, another.
No, it's pretty good.
That you don't know about.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm back, by the way. I thought I had to go.
What pop culture reference?
He thinks Russell Brand is cool. I'm just kidding.
No, I think Russell Brand is aware, and he owns himself, and he is he's beyond owning himself. He's beyond myself and Cody.
He's also a walking skeleton.
He does not have much muscle mass. That is correct. Is that something that we need to,
Yep.
judge him over?
Yes.
Why?
Look at him.
That's so mean, Nate.
What does what does physical characteristics have to do with anything? Are you going to judge Hawking the exact same way? The man can't do anything but move his pointer finger.
I'd probably feel really awkward around him.
Yeah, because he's probably smarter than all of us combined.
Well, every time he talks with that speaking spell, I can't deal with it.
I'm looking at Google Image, and Russell Brand doesn't seem that bad. Am I supposed to search for something specific?
Yeah, he dresses up like Prince.
What's your point? I'm going to Porkfest's big
That
gay
just
dance
says
party
he has style. And
as Frankenfurter. Is there a problem with walking in high heels?
Well, if that's what you want to do, that's on you, bro.
Exactly. So why would you judge someone for it?
Because I can't.
Why didn't we think of that?
Well, I'm going to have to shun you for that, my friend.
All right, you're gonna shun me because
You're banned from Unity Evolved.
All right, you said you're gonna ban me because I said Russell Brand looks like a skeleton. All right.
No, not because you said Russell Brand looks like a skeleton.
Yes, it is. He does.
That's not the reason.
Look at his face. He has very defined cheeks.
I don't
He
know.
does have very defined age. Is there something wrong with having good, strong, masculine cheeks?
Yeah. There's they're okay. They're Ugh. I hate the hat. How about that?
Don't be hate. Hey, statist. Don't be hating on the hat.
All right.
Don't be
He's
hating
not a
on the
status.
hat.
He's a nothing.
Because you know why? You know why? Because most deaf wears a hat like this.
Mos Def.
Yeah, most deaf.
Wait,
Yeah.
so
You don't know
Nate-
most deaf? Fuck you mean you don't know most deaf, nigga? Man, cause most deaf is one of the most smartest intellectual motherfuckers that I have ever had the privilege to hear from. Cause this man knows more about owning himself and being free than Ian and Mark and Mr. Mises put together.
What are you talking
All
about?
right, most deaf. For real, you don't know most deaf?
No, it's just the way you're talking. Who do you think you are? Like Spike Lee? You want to come up with a movie for me now?
I could.
It's fixed.
What kind of movie do you want?
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
you wanna link
Yeah.
pictures of the most sexiest individuals wearing fedoras,
Well,
and
I haven't taken a
and
picture.
this show is divulging into nonsense.
I haven't taken a picture and put it on the internet yet, so.
Well, my friend, you need to.
Russell Brand has a fedora on this picture.
Yeah, fedoras are in. I'm
know
extremely ashamed to admit that I'm being trendy.
Honestly, I
But it
noticed
had
that.
nothing to do with it being trendy. I saw a fedora in a gas station one day, and I was like, hey, I like that. I think I might look good in a fedora. So I bought a brown one,
It is very.
and I gave it to my kids, and my girls love it. And, it's been something that they've been able to connect with me with.
It's very.
So I bought my gray one. It replaced my brown one, and, fedoras are, they're distinguished.
Isn't it kind of like
Okay,
a folk culture? Like the
Go ahead.
It's like what is it? Folk music. It's kind of like that little thing. That's where the fedoras are coming into play. You didn't know that?
Because of folk music?
Yeah, I'm telling you, they're all wearing fedoras.
Well, that's okay. I'm going to co-opt that, and I'm going to make it a libertarian thing.
Yeah.
So, Corey Moore, Cody O'Connor, Ian Freeman. I expect you all, Mr. Derek J. has already started it. I expect you all to be wearing fedoras in your next broadcasts. If you choose to be influenced by my paltry little podcast, and you see, if I had a pop filter It might have gotten rid of that distortion.
I didn't hear this distortion, so maybe you shouldn't have brought it up.
You're probably right.
Now I'm gonna
There
think
goes
about it.
my guilt and self doubt.
Mm-hmm.
It's all because of all the problems in the world.
Hey guys, we're about 15 minutes overdue. We haven't taken a single break. I think it's about time to wrap this sucker up.
All
I
right.
think so too.
I would love to continue talking, but I gotta piss, and I think I probably need to eat something before I vomit.
All right.
Oh gosh. So Nate and Nathan, are you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was wondering. This doesn't have to be in the show. It's okay. And if we ended the show, bye everyone.
Well, Hef, you're the edit master.
Yeah, but okay, I'm gonna keep this in the show in the end.
All right.
I had an idea for this thing called, let's say it's called Freedomburg, okay? And it was a thing where we
boy.
can get, where we can get together some select people to join in a conference. Like we'll have a conference, a really nice big conference room, big round table. Invite these guests in and talk about whatever we can do to maybe transition into a better either monetary system or better society where we don't depend on the Fed or the government anymore. But we would have people invited that are experts in different fields. Like for example, okay, you would invite
Like
Neil deGrasse.
Libertopia or whatever? Or Liberty Forum?
Actually, maybe. But this one is more general. It has more people outside of the liberty movement. For example, Neil deGrasse Tyson. He's not. He's great when it comes to science, and he has a lot of valid points on how we need to. The scientific method is like the best way to test out theories. So we invite him, and he could talk about science. But basically, this is the good guy opposite of the Bilderberg meetings. Okay, it's called Freedomburg. Get it? Freedomburg instead of Bilderberg. And Bilderberg, you know how they say it's all hush hush, quiet, no. It's only a select people who go in there and listen to it. It's not public. So this one would be totally opposite. Open, where the whole world can see. And I was thinking of the invite again. You guys there still? Or did I bore you?
Yeah.
Okay, you're there. All right. So I was thinking, okay, Brian Sovereign.
Probably.
Okay. Bring
Unless you
him
could,
in.
I don't know, make it about science or something.
About what? I'm sorry?
Nate, are you there?
Nate?
What was that?
I was asking, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here now.
Oh, okay. No, I was gonna say I don't think Neil deGrasse Tyson would appeal to him too much. I don't watch Cosmos though, so I don't know.
Okay, well, here's the list. Brian Sovereign Tech, okay? You know him, right? Do you guys know him? There's
Yeah, he
Jen
does
Huger and
radio show on LRN.FM about all things technical, and I am a listener.
he has an anarchy. I like his views on anarchy and things like that. So also you have your Cenk Uygur and Ana Kasparian. They're not libertarian. They're more liberal, and they have their own show from the Young Turks. The two main people from the Young Turks. I think they have valid views that are more general, more to the general public. They can actually bring those people in to, let's say, view a live broadcast of the Freedomburg thing. You got Amy Goodman from Democracy Now!, Joe Rogan from the Joe Rogan Experience, Stefan Molyneux.
Sounds like you're talking about the Justice League here.
Yeah, but with all the great people, the greatest minds. Okay, you got Peter Joseph from the Zeitgeist Movement. You have I like this guy. He's called Brian Dunning from Skeptoid. He's all about skepticism. Don't just believe any mumbo jumbo you hear out there, pseudoscience. Take the time out and research what you're believing.
That's a good podcast. If you haven't heard it, Nate, you might want to check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he talks
Yeah,
about kind of like a skeptic's view on historical things. I listened to one about the Mary Celeste, that weird ghost ship that disappeared, and it was a really good
What is
analysis.
the name of it again?
I'm sorry.
Skeptoid.
Skeptoid. I'm gonna look it up. I might listen to it.
Yes, Skeptoid. And the guy's name is Brian Dunning, and he always starts his show as, "You're listening to Skeptoid. I'm Brian Dunning from Skeptoid.com."
That's copyright. You're gonna get sued.
So was that the actual clip?
That's what he always says in the beginning. No, that wasn't the clip. I was.
Oh yeah, that was a good Dunning.
Saying it
That
myself.
sounded just like him.
Oh shit, and that's a compliment. Thank you. You got Penn Jillette, all right? He's another good one. Brett Venat, okay? Adam Kokesh. You guys may freak out when I say this one, but Alex Jones should also be invited. All right? Why? Okay, let me just finish the list. It's almost done. Ron Paul, okay? Jack Spirko from the Survival
Hold on, I need to
Podcast.
freak out about Alex Kokas. Are you f***ing kidding me?
What?
No, continue.
Okay. You got Russell Brand, which we were talking about earlier. Russell Brand would be a good person to invite.
Skeleton. Sorry, go ahead.
To Friedenberg?
Yeah. Jack Fresco and Roxanne Meadows of the Venus Project. Okay.
Definitely.
You got. I already said Brian Sovereign. I say Stephanie Murphy is very interesting as well to have. To talk about the freedom movement, right? Mark Edge and Ian Freeman from Free Talk Live, and Jesse Ventura. All these people which are kind of similar, but they're different, and they may not all agree with each other.
You forgot a couple of the most important people that you need at Friedenberg.
Us, of course.
There you go. Liberty, Phoenix, and Hefland.
And
We
Nate
better be
and
there.
Nathan can call
We're
in,
gonna
of
document
course.
Yeah, it sounds like you're listening a lot of podcasts that I listen to on that list. Except I think you left out No Agenda, but other than that.
And Legacy.
Yeah.
That's all right.
Well, you see, Legacy Radio is not libertarian.
No, I'm not. I'm
You guys aren't trying to change the world. You don't care about the status quo.
Well, I think we can get all these guys together. I'll set up a beautiful, like 1.5 or 2 minute video with nice music, and set up some sort of, what do you call that? Kickstarter for it. And I'm sure fans of all these people would probably donate to that just to see that happen. We can.
Which one is the one where you get to keep the money regardless of whether or not it succeeds?
People that I listen to. Have you ever thought that?
Sorry, you guys were talking over each other.
Liberty Phoenix.
I said which one is the one that you get to keep the money regardless of whether or not you succeed? Kickstarter or the other one?
Indiegogo.
Indiegogo? Yeah, we got to do an Indiegogo then.
Or GoFundMe. But anyway,
Whichever, yeah. Uh-huh.
say that again, Nathan.
I was gonna say, haven't you ever? I have thought sometimes it'd be cool if some of like Penn Jillette would meet with, I don't know, Amy Goodman, or I just think sometimes wouldn't it be funny if some of the people you listen to could talk to other people that you listen to when normally they would never ever do that.
Mm-hmm. That's why I like the Joe Rogan Experience.
I honestly, I don't know. There's something about his show that I can listen. Sometimes I'll listen to it, but it's only if I have no other show to listen to.
Joe
Yeah, I can't take too much of him. I really can't.
No, you're a
I can't
skeptic.
take his podcast. It's a huge file. He needs to lower the quality of his files. It's like freaking 200 megabytes for one podcast.
He's too busy. He's too busy making kettlebells.
What's wrong with kettlebells?
Selling-
Hey, those things are an amazing workout supplement.
Yeah, that too.
You know, I do those every single day when I throw my box of cable over my shoulder. It's awesome.
Cool. Who asked you?
Me. Because guess what?
What?
My show, bitch. But I would be nothing without everybody else. I'm sitting here talking to myself in a fucking closet.
I was gonna say you're in a closet, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Oh man, and
Closet.
you have So like, is this? How big is the closet?
All right, hold on. Well, let me give you this much. I've fit 5 people in here doing the show comfortably.
That's not a closet. That's a room.
Okay, well it's a big closet. I've seen closets bigger than this.
It was meant to be a closet.
All right, I've been to houses that are millions of dollars. They have closets bigger than this little 4 square area that I call my studio.
But from what you've been telling me this whole time, you obviously don't have millions of dollars. So, this closet can't be that
Or
big.
do I? No.
You must be playing a different video. What are you playing now?
Mario. I'm still doing that. You know? Did you know? Ian, the Free Talk Live folks have soundboards. I just found Ian.
Hey
Freeman's
Cody,
soundboard.
you know you can call in, right? If you want to join in, Cody, considering you're the only viewer, do it.
How do you know he's the only viewer?
I'm like 85% confident.
He
Could be the NSA.
bed. He's in bed right now.
It's like 10:30. He's not in bed.
It's 10:30 Central.
Yeah, it's 11:30 our time.
Yeah, that's not that late.
That's pretty late.
What? That's like the beginning of the night. See, that's the problem with you Jersey boys, man. You guys go to sleep way too early.
You keep on saying Jersey, but we're both not even from Jersey at all.
You're all from Jersey. If you're from the East Coast, you're from Jersey.
Oh, I see.
You're all from Jersey, right?
Too much
That was kind of
tequila.
Italian, or not Italian, Australian. No such thing. There's no such thing as too much tequila. Believe that.
Yes,
Believe
you're gonna
that.
be praying to the porcelain god in a few.
Not hardly. Oh my God. Yeah, maybe if I had another 12-pack and another pint of tequila, maybe I'd be puking. But it takes a lot more than that to make me puke. I'll just act like a dumbass.
I think I'm going to end up puking in Porkfest at some point. Some point in the week.
Remind me not to be around you because I don't like that. I'll throw up too.
Who does?
Oh, you're a puker by proxy.
I don't like that shit, bro. I'm sorry. It's not happening.
Remind you never to be an EMT.
Well, that's why I don't do it because I'm not a thief, I guess, right? Just kidding.
That's why he's a podcaster.
I'm kidding.
No,
Well,
I
you see,
think
the EMTs, the paramedics, and the firefighters. I have a issue.
Uh-oh.
Although they do get paid by the state, so yes, they are paid through thievery. So yes, they are thieves. But they're altruistic about their thievery. See, I'm slurring like a motherfucker.
it's not that bad.
And I got
You
a
just
bottle
go
of
on long
Coke.
tangents.
You know, and I'm so pissed off. I wasn't able to get my fucking weed today, man. I got one of my other technicians was like, oh, get me an eighth of weed, and I was like, all right, cool, $50, and I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna get a quarter, and I'm gonna be able to pay like $45 for fucking 4.5 grams. And I'm like, yeah, woo, and I couldn't get it.
You're starting to sound like Paul Wall.
Well, I am Paul Wall.
Yeah.
I'm black.
Oh,
Fuck young.
He's white, by the way. Just want to state that. He's a white rapper.
I haven't heard of him
Shut
in a
up.
long. Paul Wall, right?
That's because he's doing podcasts out of his closet.
Hey, everybody starts somewhere, right?
You're right. You are right on that. I agree. I started off with doing it on the kitchen table. That lasted like a week until I got like a mixer because I couldn't deal with it anymore.
Hey,
See, you had the money to drop on a mixer. I ain't got the money to drop on a mixer, my friend.
how's your
I
setup?
got in a minute, but I wanted to ask Nate real quick. What does the mixer do? I'm kind of an audio noob, and I was
Well, it does everything you want it to do. So essentially,
It allows you to combine different audio streams.
I was just gonna say that it can make everything go into one thing and come out on one line. So essentially, I want to send in this the computer's audio output into my mixer. The other computer's audio output into my mixer, my cell phone if I wanted to into it, and go back out into the computer as well. So that I'll have one audio stream, all the stuff mixed in, going out to one.
So does that mean that you could for example, say Google Plus take audio input from channel 1, and then somewhere else you could say pipe the Skype output into that channel, so then that they both come out together?
Essentially, I guess, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot more.
The final output is the Google Hangouts right here. That would be the final output, but what's feeding into that final output is that mixer, which has like all those other connections stuck into it. The mic, maybe you can have a second mic, maybe you can have your phone connected to it also in another input,
Yeah.
so you can maybe do sound effects from your phone.
I could do
Well,
something.
yeah, on our end, it's the Google Hangouts that's the final product. But if this was legacyradio.net,
Yeah.
which it totally could be, he could completely produce it on his end through his equipment
You like
with all of our streams.
In the past, when I've called into Cody's show, I've been able to play audio by using something called a stereo mix in Windows.
It's the same thing. Yeah, I'm doing some sound effects.
Is that
now.
like a virtual mixer?
Yeah.
Yeah, what I did was in
I
Windows,
need one of those.
something
Yeah.
called stereo mix, and if you turn it
My
on,
dick.
I think it takes input from everything.
Yeah, it's similar to that. Like, it takes audio. Like, pretty much, I have two computers running right now. One that does my video stream that you guys are not seeing because that's my good cams, and I have all my
We're
other.
not good enough for that.
It's not that. It's just that I use my Skype on the other computer, and so everything's on my other computer. So I have all my.
So your mixer is taking two audio streams from different computers and creating it into one stream as well?
Well, yes. So essentially,
That's fucking tits.
you have the audio out going into the mixer from both computers. Then you have the and then you have the audio out on the computers going into the audio in, essentially line in on the mixers. Then you have the audio out on the mixer, one going to the microphone input on the on one computer, and the other audio out on the mixer going into the microphone input on the other computer. And then
We have what, four microphones, right?
4? Yeah, I have 4 right now.
And if you want to use a mic, do you have to use the XLR or whatever to plug it into?
XLR.
I have to. I can use XLR or I can use quarter inch.
Ooh,
Okay.
nice.
Quarter inch, is that different from
Mic
USB?
setup. I didn't know how to sort of get that working, and I tried to get an XLR adapter, and there was something. I was confused about the difference between a quarter inch and an eighth inch.
1/8 inch is like a headphone jack. Quarter inch is the bigger one. The big.
Which you can place on top of the eighth.
Yes, exactly. And what do you call it? A quarter inch does not need to be powered but a XLR usually needs to be powered by a phantom power.
Yeah, I wound up.
Phantom Power XLR. That's where you need an outside source to provide to provide power. Like what I thought I needed for this microphone until you actually fixed it.
Yep, because I fix things.
Yeah, I have.
No, I have.
This audio is talk in the final cut if you don't want to.
No, this is-
Michael Dean would
I
fucking
actually-
jizz all over this conversation.
I don't even.
In what way? And that means what?
In a way that, like,
like
he'd be
it?
like jacking off, like, yeah, talk about XLRs, yes, oh my god, and then he would spurt his semen on our faces because we're talking about fucking Audio Technicas.
Well, I have a question.
Michael Dean is that he's a little he's kind of like you, Liberty Phoenix. He likes to jump around really fast, and he can't really sit still long enough to explain things step by step. So
ADHD.
he'd probably just say, yeah, you should just use this mic. You should just use XYZ mic and use it with the ABC headset or something like that.
That's what he's told me before.
Hey Nate, real quick, what about a USB mic? Because I have right now I'm using a Blue Yeti, so that there's no Microsoft microphone USB inputs on that mixer. Are there any mixers like that?
Hef, can you let that Yeti inside? Warm him up. Maybe he won't be blue anymore. Yeah, fuck you guys. That was funny.
You don't
I
do
give
that
you a
with
courtesy laugh.
mixers are
I
made
appreciate
for
it.
certain types of things, XLR, quarter inch, stuff like that. They're not made for USB. If you're trying to do an audio mix with USB, then you're gonna have to use some type of software, just like Nathan was talking about. The best software I've ever used, ever used, was on a Mac, and it was called Wiretap. And essentially, it has a really nice, beautiful graphical user interface, and you can like click and drag wires and the pictures of each program you want to use, and you want it to be inside your mix. You just click and drag the wire and connect them together. And so essentially, I want Skype to be in the mix. So you'd click and you drag the wire and connect it to Skype. Next one, you want, I don't know, let's just say music from your music player. You could just click and drag it in. So like it takes everything, and it will mix it all together, and it works smoothly. So
awesome. So maybe I wouldn't even need to buy a mixer if I can just get that software for PC where I can mix in.
You can, but it's free for the PC, but it's not my favorite. It's called Virtual Audio Cable. I've used that. I don't know what Nathan's using exactly, but
I'm actually not using anything at the moment.
It's
you can just set the settings in Skype for what you want the audio input to be.
Oh, okay. So you're using Skype. Okay. No, you got to use Virtual Audio Cable. It's okay. See, on my computer when I was using it, it was a pain in the ass because it's very CPU intensive, and stuff can come out of sync when you do it. So you got to really be careful. Be careful with that. But I mean, you can get yourself a mixer very cheaply and get a decent mixer. You don't need anything crazy. I mean, the only thing I would say to you though is the best thing I ever did was get a mixer. My mix is a Yamaha MG124CX, and it has built-in compression up to 4 microphones.
I assume that is not the $50 mixer you're going to bring me to PorkFest, is it?
No. But they have ones that are like worth. I was looking it up. They have ones that are worth like $100, $150, but they're like Behringer's. Behringer's not a bad brand, I don't feel. And they have built-in compression. I mean, Cody has a compressor separate. All what a compressor does
Explain compression, please.
What it does is essentially is if I go to yell, it kind of levels it out, so I'm not peaking the audio or anything like that. That's the best way.
Oh, that's useful. Mm-hmm.
So like
It doesn't clip it. It doesn't clip it off.
No, it's not clipping. It just kind of lowers it. Also, you can do like a side. That's the best way to explain it. It gives you a nice cleaner audio. It gets rid of any of the noise and stuff like that too. Like if you had like a low buzzing noise, it can get rid of that.
Nathan, what's clipping?
Clipping is like when you scream and then it sounds like your speakers are like shattering.
No,
Yeah,
I totally
I
didn't
was
say
thinking about
Nathan.
clipping in video where you just cut the edge off. Whereas cropping is when you make a selection and then you keep what's in the selection as opposed to cutting off what's outside.
Oh, you're talking about editing.
You can
Yeah,
also
but some of the video and audio terms are kind of the same.
well, what you can also do with a compressor, which is fucking cool. Which I had a compressor, but then I sold it because I got the mixer with the built-in compression, which I might end up getting another compressor just to do this. It's called side chaining, and essentially the way it works is you can side chain all your music, meaning you can plug it into like this input, right? and all the music will feed into this certain input. And whenever your mic goes to talk, it will auto lower the music underneath your voice.
Yeah, kind of like the program that they have for YouTube with the Google Hangouts. Because if you have an ability to talk over it, it just automatically lowers it.
I'm not familiar with that, but I do know like Cody does it, and I don't do that right now. I just lower the music manually, which it doesn't make a difference to me.
So you've got an actual like
it is
that you like slide down.
Yeah, hold on. Let me show you my mixer. Let me click right here. That is my mixer. Can you see it?
Not yet.
You should be able to.
I see Freaking, and then I see myself. Wait. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, I see something. Yeah.
These are all my little what do you call it?
Toys.
Yeah, all kinds of buttons. Has mute buttons and everything. It's kind of it's nice because the best thing to have is a mute button, especially when you go to cough. Oh my God, does it make your life so much easier? But
Like me as the host, I could be like, "Fuck you guys all," and just mute you all and just talk over you.
Yep. That's what.
Yeah, but I'd prefer to do that just vocally,
Yeah.
aggressively.
Yeah, I don't know. I had a Behringer 1202 FX, which was, how much did I pay for that? $100.
$120.
It was like $100, but now they're selling it for like $50 online. It wasn't bad. It just didn't have the built-in compression. But you definitely want to do something with compression on it because it's gonna help. It's gonna.
Yeah, I think
so much better.
with the show that I do, with my voice, yeah, I think I'll need compression, built-in compression.
Yeah,
I tend to yell a lot.
Yeah, I agree. Is that it? Who's that? Oh, I'm gonna click on what he's showing right there. Yeah,
It's a Behringer, a little mini.
I had something similar to that. Mine was a 1202 at that time. And it's Behringer is not a bad mixer, especially when you're starting out and you're not looking to spend a lot of money. I never had a problem with it. I really didn't. And all you need to do,
Created past it.
all you really need to do is if you really wanted to, you could keep that, and if you wanted to add to it, you could probably spend another $40 and get yourself a compressor. And then
How many input streams does it have?
that one right there that he's showing, the 802, that only
It's
has
4, right?
that only has 2 microphones, and then it looks like it has 2 line ins. So you
I
could
can
have
take 2 people in studio and 2 people out of studio.
well, you could do more than that because I mean, in reality, all you need is one computer that runs Skype, and then they could take and Skype and like let's say Google Voice, and you can take all the calls you want.
Nate, were you talking about this RX1202FX?
RX 1202FX. What are you talking about?
Oh, I searched Behringer mixer on Amazon, and the only one that's similar to what you said is Behringer RX1202FX.
Let me see. Behringer
Be right back, gentlemen.
Xenix. It's Xenix 1202FX. So if you, it's XENYX 1202FX.
Oh, I see the Xenix 1002FX, but not the one you're saying.
I'm gonna give you a little link to it right now. Hold on. This is the exact one that I had too. Let me get it for you. Hold on a second. I'm gonna send you the link, and I'll send a link into the chat too for Google. Where's the chat here? Here it is.
I'm wondering if this, when the show ended.
That's why I was hoping Hef could cut this out of the final thing because it's going on too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is going on. The audio part when we start talking about the audio bits. But we said goodbye.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So right now on Sweetwater, it's $89, but it kind of gives you a nice little idea of what I was using before. I didn't have.
It says 8-channel with 4 preamps, 4 stereo channels, 3 band
Yeah, but it
equalizer.
does
I don't know what any of this means.
It does not have built-in compression, though. This one does not. Okay.
It would say that if it did.
Yeah, I'll show you the one that I have. I'm gonna get it on Amazon. That's mine. And it's mine's a Yamaha. CX. The CX. The only reason why I got the CX because it has effects on it, which I thought were gonna be better. It actually, my price of mine. It kind of went down in price a little bit, I think.
So when it said 4 mic preamps, it means those 4 little XLR plugs on the upper left.
Well, I want to send it to you right now. Yeah, preamps are the XLRs. Yes, you are correct. I'm gonna.
So that means, does preamp just mean it gets power or?
Yes, power.
Okay.
I just sent another link into the chat for the other thing. But if you take a look at the one I have now, the Yamaha, it has pretty much everything I need. The 4 yellow knobs on it. It has the mute buttons. It has the 4 yellow knobs. It has the built-in compression. That's all up to 4 microphones. It can still take in 2 other inputs, which I could use for like instruments if I wanted to, stuff like that, you know. Oh, another mic. I actually did put another mic.
So which one are you planning on bringing to PorkFest to sell me?
To sell you?
You said you could definitely find a $50 mixer.
Yeah, I gotta look some more because I kind of fell off the track with that, to be honest with you.
You know, Nate, with this
No problem.
I don't know if you've ever gone to Zali's page. He's kind of a programmer guy, XAHLEE, but he had a page about keypads and game.
Where can I find him at?
For computers.
XAHLEE. What a page on what?
He's just a programmer guy who posts random stuff about things. But he posted.
But where does he post it at?
I found my way to one of his articles, and he was talking. He had a picture of a Photoshop keyboard. It was like 300 keys, all with different kind of colors and symbols on them. And he was talking about, basically, how, well, you may as well just buy a gamepad for your computer, one of those little 25-key gamepads, as opposed to buying one of these huge keyboard things. This Yamaha MG124 kind of reminds me of that 300-button Photoshop
Yeah, but you know what,
board.
though? Everything has a purpose, though. And I know what every single one of them does. So, like, for example, how when you call in, you notice how you don't hear the commercials when you're sitting on
Anymore.
You know how you don't hear the commercials when you're sitting on the hold on his line when you're, like, in between?
And you're watching it on the Ustream.
I can't. Well, I hear them when
you're on Ustream, yes.
No, but when I call into Cody's show, I think I can hear them for a few seconds and then they go off.
Yeah, because he turns them off. You can
Manually.
take the commercial and send it to an auxiliary, which then sends to the computer instead. There's all kinds of different things you can do with this mixer.
So it's not exactly like you're turning down, like on a mixer. What I imagine it is, I've got me, I've got Nate, I've got Nathan, I've got Hef, and then I've got the commercials. Like when we go to break, one stream that I'm going to LRN, that's broadcasting only the commercials, and I can turn that down on my personal Ustream. So like LRN only picks up so much, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think I understood what you said.
I know it's difficult when I'm drunk.
So no, essentially, like, yeah, if he was, when he has like the what do you call it, commercials, right? He feeds them in, but when he feeds them in, he can switch it so like you guys on the call don't hear that.
And does that feed come from LRN or whatever, or GCN?
The commercials come from LRN.
And but does he have to use software to get that to talk to the mixer?
Yeah, he uses he was using TeamSpeak. I think he's using What the hell are they using now?
Well, if he would jump in here and stop just watching, maybe we'd know.
I can't remember.
Hey, you guys.
No.
On a completely unrelated subject, wow, what a surprise I'd bring that up. Can I get both you, Nate, and Nathan to do a simultaneous cut for me? As far as like an endorsement of the show?
A cut?
He wants us to cut ourselves on the camera, I think he said.
Thanks for the... I appreciate the birthday hat. It's awesome, considering it's going to be Father's Day soon. That's great. No, but like just a little something like, hey, this is Nate and Nathan. You're listening to Unity Evolved.
Like together?
Like that. Yeah. I want the Nates to be doing something together.
Dude, we're pretty popular, I guess. A lot of people like listening to us. I don't know what it is.
You guys totally are. The Nathans are a thing.
The Nate and Nathan Hour. That's what it's called. So we have to start our own show.
Apparently.
But first, you have to do me a cut.
Sounds like you're trying to get me to
You could do it right now. I'm sure Hef could cut it out and save
How about this?
He's skilled like that.
How about this? I will, because the way the audio is and it's been cutting in and out, I will do my own on my end and then send it to you. How's that sound?
That's sexy.
I also
what about you, Nathan? Are you down?
a link here that says building a small pro audio rig when I typed in Yamaha MG1224 into Google. Did you see that, Nate?
No, I didn't. Let's see.
Oh, maybe it's a popular mixer.
It is. I looked it up. It has a really high rating on Amazon. There's a, let's see. Oh my gosh. I'm just trying to look for the one that when I originally looked for it on Amazon, it had like out of like 1,000 reviews, like almost a 5-star rating. But no, I can't find it.
Well, anyways, one thing I did want to mention is if you're tired of having a big board of buttons, then you can take that Daily Dude's advice and you can get like a little gamepad. You can also get mice that have keypads on them. Have you seen those?
Mice that have keypads on them?
Yeah, like they're kind of big. They're kind of made for bigger-handed people. They have like a little alpha.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. That's made for like people who play like WoW. So they can
but if you think about it, you can use it for any kind of thing where you have a million buttons and you need you need more button, I guess.
At that point, you just make macros.
More dots. Okay,
Yeah,
anybody that plays WoW knows what that is.
Macro, you have to use Control and Shift a lot, and then it's easier if you put that on the mouse. But yeah, I can kind of see what you're saying. Like as long as you have 1 or 2 extra buttons on the mouse, that's probably enough. You don't really need a keypad. But if you, for some reason,
guys, we've only done an hour of after show.
For those.
So yeah, we've only done an hour of after show. I'm totally cool with staying on. I don't give a fuck, but I'm just making sure everybody else knows.
All right,
only an hour.
Let's talk video games. Who wants to play a video game with me right now? PS3, Call of Duty.
Stop putting a goddamn tiara on me, you assholes.
Oh wait, we can do that. I want to put a tiara on him too.
You're a rude individual. Okay, and actually, I don't mind the tiara so much, except for the fact that you guys are with me. It's not good to do with a brutalist fucking libertarian while he's drunk.
Hey, so what is brutalist?
Get loud and like be an asshole and.
Can you explain what the brutalist part is?
I'll just talk over you guys. I'm sorry. Continue.
Who put the tiara up there?
I did.
Yeah, figures.
Okay. I thought somehow Nate did that.
Can
his end.
Can you put a clown mask on him?
Actually, could.
I believe they do have one.
Yeah. Let's see, a clown mask. Here we go.
Thanks a lot. Thanks. Yeah, that's awesome. We have a traffic circle in our town. We have one. One traffic circle in a city of 250,000 individuals. We have one traffic circle, and ever since I was a young kid, my buddy and I would, whenever we come up to that traffic circle, oh my God, that's awesome! I look like Ronald McDonald. Whenever we would come up to that traffic circle, we would go around it at the very least 4 times, and we'd just sit there singing. And it was one of those like really fun, goofy things that you used to do as a kid.
Did you guys ever scream every time you went under a bridge or something as like a game?
What?
Siblings. So let's say you're on a road trip and you're in the highway. Every time you'd go under a bridge, you'd scream. You go, ah! I guess that was just my family then.
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, you guys are weird.
Imagine every time. And I think we even tried doing that in the Lincoln Tunnel or something in New York. Boy, that was long.
Hey Nate, what'd Cody say?
Wait.
I heard it. I heard it.
Well, nobody messaged me, bro.
No, that's over here on my side.
I just want to let you
Yes.
know that you wouldn't hear the noises on my side because I have them all disabled.
Because he's
Because
a
you
professional.
are a professional.
I'm getting tired though. I might have to go to bed.
Hey, yeah, man. This has gone long, but it was fun. It was fun.
Yeah.
This is gonna be a big file heft. Your Audacity is it's gonna be huge.
You have a recording still?
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right. Well,
Windows.
You know what? Hey, everybody out there. I'm really thankful that everybody decided to tune in, and we've had like what four viewers at one time, and that's really amazing, and I really appreciate it. Without the viewers, we'd just be sitting here talking to ourselves and being like, "Hey, yes, I'm talking in a fucking closet. That's awesome." But I really want to take note of somebody. They posted something on the Facebooks, on the CIA books, that really resonated with me, and I really wanted to end the show with it. It's from Amanda Parsons, Little Miss Mandy from the Corey Moore Show, the wonderful and beautiful Ductus and Ductus and Queen of the chat room. She posted to Facebook that the heart of a person sets the precedence of what beauty is in a person. If you cannot see the beauty of a person by their heart, you don't deserve to see their beauty. And I think that's really wonderful, because if you're going to judge people, you don't deserve it.
Wow, sounds like she pulled that off one of those fucking cards that you get here on Facebook.
either you make the cards or you read them, right?
Live, laugh, and love, everybody. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Stop apologizing. Own it.
No, I'm not really apologizing. I just said I'm sorry.
Oh, so you're a liar.
Nope, not a liar, but you look like a clown.
But you just apologized and you didn't mean it, so you lied.
Can you give him a puppy face? There we go. Let's give him there we
I'm not even going to look at it, because I'm not going to allow our wonderful, intelligent viewers. All right, fuck it. Yeah, who am I lying to? Go ahead, guys. Look at me looking like a fool, like I don't do it myself. What do I look like? Please tell me, because I can't see it. I'm lagging like a motherfucker. I'm lagging like I'm connected to 56K. I'm on AOL right now.
I gotta upload my part 2 of my last show.
Yay, I graduated. I am a full-fledged dick. I have a PhD in assholishness.
Hey Nate.
Yo.
What do you play video games? Things like that, or?
Yeah, I play games. I mean, my son, I play with him and stuff. I don't play as much as I used to, though.
Mhm.
I
What was the last thing you played?
last game, Halo. What do you call it? The one that's
ODST.
no, the one that's the top view. What the hell is Spartan Assault?
Oh, okay. Is that like a strategy?
It's like yeah, it's like an arcade. Like you ever play Contra on the top view Contra?
Yes, yes, I have.
Kind of like
Oh
it's
my God.
almost identical to that, and it's a little bit
Contra
more.
for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
Contra
Super
3
C.
Alien
Yeah,
Wars.
you're talking about the bonus levels for Super C.
They just have the option where you do top view. It's kind of like that. That's exactly the best way to explain. So. Oh yeah, Nate. I know what you're talking about with those mice. Yeah, I've seen those before.
Oh, Nate is talking.
I felt
Nathan.
like I had to match your link to the mixer with the link of my own. So, unfortunately, I don't know much about audio gear, but I managed to hunt down a deal on. For some reason, these mice with the keypads on them, they cost like $60 to $100, but
Yeah.
or more. But for some reason, this particular company is having some kind of sale, so you can get them for like $40.
Yeah, man. I I didn't know anything about audio about 4 years ago, and then I got obsessed with wanting to know about it. So I just read. That was it.
Did you like read actual written books, or did you go online and just watch YouTube videos?
It was kind of no. I read articles. Trial by fire. Like I was telling him, try to figure something out. Well, I want to do this. How do I do it? And then I research it. And then I kept on getting more and more in depth. Like, what does this knob do? What does this do? What does that do? And then I'd read articles on what each one does. How you know what I mean? Things like that, and started doing my own things and figuring it out. And I'm pretty good with that stuff. So
Are you focused more?
That's good, and I'm kind of like that too. But there are times where you need like you get snagged on something and you need like outside help. What I like to do there is to post on a message board or like in an IRC chat room. Like I was reading, like I remember one time I had some question about a biology test I needed, so I went onto a chat room about professors who were talking about like bioinformatics or something, and I asked my dumb question and someone gave me a dumb answer, so I figured it out.
yeah. I mean, I do know that I use a lot of forums for like I do programming as well, and
What are you programming?
Well, for programming, you just have to search your question on Stack Exchange and then look at the top answer.
Yeah. Sometimes, I right now I do a lot of data analyst work. So I'm doing a lot of things working with SQL and other things like that, and you just research it and stuff if you can't figure it out. I mean, that's the funny thing.
Is that like online or like with people you kind of know in real life? Or?
Yeah, like I do a lot of IT work too, so.
Did you see that film
I do
AFK IRL about Pirate Bay?
No.
Nope.
It was a pretty good film. They
Yeah, cool.
documented the Pirate Bay's ascension into the legal land.
All right, I gotta go, guys.
All right. Cool. Been nice talking to you.
All right, man. Do you want me to keep you on, Nathan, or you want me to just hang up?
No, that's fine. I gotta go too.
All right, I'll talk to you guys later.
All right, guys.
Well, thanks for coming by, guys.
Bye, man.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah. Bye.
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 So Liberty, I guess it's offline now. Live. We were live.
Hold on.
That's cool.
Hold the motherfucking phone, because we might be getting a celebrity coming in. Hold on one moment.
Hold on, let me. Oh man. You know what? I think I'm actually gonna have to get this episode done from from the Google Hangout, the thing that you're gonna put out to YouTube, and chop
You're gonna have to
that
download
up.
it.
Yeah, I can get that. But yeah. Yeah, because I already have mine cut up a lot. I was recording my voice for a while, then I did, and I stopped. And then we had more content that was useful, and you were recording. But you see, now when you're recording to Audacity, you're not also recording the other guy speaking. Audacity is only recording what
Correct.
your voice, so it's gonna be like you're talking to no one. And the same thing on my end, but we're not gonna be talking to the other two guys, so I'm gonna need to do the Google Hangouts. It's just
We're gonna
alright.
need to get Nate's audio stream then.
If he could get that, then we could do it, but it seems like there's a lot of parts that are cut off. I didn't record until on my side, my voice, I didn't record until like 10 minutes in. So I realized I'm like, oh shit. So I recorded all the way up to before we were talking about the audio equipment.
One second.
Mhm.